ସମସ୍ତେ ଭାବିବେ photography ଖାଲି ସୁନ୍ଦର images ବିଷୟରେ ଆପଣ କହିବେ and all, but the things that you covered about conservation or about awareness, about sustainability, about responsible, tourism also.
So just to let you know that my name is Shakti Nanda. By profession, I'm an architect. I hope that everybody is comfortable in English, Hindi, and Odia. So it's a very good evening to everybody, and namaskar. Uh, Thank you so much for calling the history to give me this opportunity first, and it is really a pleasure being with all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sunilji. ଆଉ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କୁ ମୋର ବହୁତ ନମସ୍କାର। ମୋ ନାଁ ଶକ୍ତି ନନ୍ଦ। By profession, I'm an architect. My first profession is I'm an architect by profession. But ତାପରେ I taught in Shri Shri University for about 10 years. And before that, I used to teach as a lecturer in Piloo Mody College of Architecture. Um, and photography is my once upon a time it was hobby. Now it's my second profession almost. And I left the Professor Giri, what I was doing in Shishi University about 3 4 years back, just to continue with my photography thing, because I was not getting time after becoming a professor in Shishi University. So anyway, this is me, and I do a lot of conservation efforts. When I am involved in many conservation efforts, and I am going to share one of my best conservation effort over here, where I was involved. Not only me, but it was the entire team which was working. A success story which is within Odisha. So how photography is related to conservation, and how it helps in building up interest in conservation. That is my topic. So my topic for today's discussion is a powerful tool for conservation. Photography as a powerful tool for conservation. So it is pretty evident that when we do photography, then it has some purpose. One photograph is equal to 1,000 words, so I need not it explain 1,000 words. I need not explain much. So, what most of the photographs that you are going to see over here, almost all the photographs, whatever you are going to see in this presentation, are taken within Orissa and very much from Orissa. Some of the photographs, most of the photographs, in fact, the case studies and all that I'm going to represent is about Mangala Jodi. May I know how many of you are aware about Mangala Jodi? If you can raise a hand or
ମୁଁ ତ ଜାଣିଛି, ମୁଁ ଯାଇଛି ବି ସେଠିକି,
sir,
ଶୁଣିଲି କହୁଛି।
sir.
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
Any
ମଙ୍ଗଳଗଡ଼ି ବିଷୟରେ ଜାଣିଛୁ।
you have heard about the name, na Mangala Jodi?
ହଁ
Mangala Jodi,
ଜାଣିଛୁ,
it is a
ମୁଁ
bird's
ପର୍ସନାଲି
paradise.
କେବେ ଯାଇନି।
No,
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
not Jai Thantu, but you must have. How many of you haven't heard about Mangala Jodi? केवे सुनी नांती Mangala Jodi ना?
I don't think any of us would be that ignorant. They may not have gone to the place, but most of them have. They know about that place. It's a
Yes,
welcome place.
yes, yes, sir. It is a very good place. But surprisingly, let me get into that. Let me start with the whole thing. Why do we consider photography as a tool for conservation? First is rising awareness. It's obvious that if we photograph something, जो भी subject हो आपनकर वो से wildlife ही था बा craft ही था बा आपनकर architecture ही था बा heritage ही था, it is for the awareness program, right? The second is documentation. Documentation is that even in wildlife, we do documentation a lot of it, like a new species or a habitat, different kind of habitats. Like say Mangla Jodi or Chilka, it is a marshy land and it's a wetland. So habitat studies and that documentation is also done through photography. Then your inspiring actions, when we are taking or promoting some photographs, a habitat or something through a visual media, then it creates a lot of impact. It inspires many people to get involved in the channel. which will help the whole purpose go smoothly and go forward in a faster way. So I will be explaining about one such example in a very different way. So capturing nature's beauty, what is it? What is the purpose of wildlife photography? It is obviously showcasing biodiversity, then highlighting ecosystem and connections, revealing hidden worlds like hidden world matlab. Maybe again through my case study, I will explain that why I'm saying that it is a hidden world, revealing hidden worlds. At times, wildlife photography is something which is, it is a matter of chance. If you go to a habitat or a place and for 100 times, then probably you will get 10 chances to shoot one subject, the targeted subject, I mean. Let's say, for example, let's say if I want to shoot Jadon's Bazale. Acha, uh, anybody out here who are interested in birds? You have heard about Jordan's Baza?
ନାଇଁ ମାନେ ମୋର in depth ବେଶୀ ନାହିଁ idea
Acha,
କୋଣ
okay.
ମାନେ birds
So,
world
okay, let's
ବିଷୟରେ
not
but I
get
love
technically. It is not such get technical terms into scientific terms. I'm a Jibani. Let's focus on the year. Let's say, Mojo Kochi. Let's say, if we
ନା
want to shoot fishing cat.
excuse me
Yes.
sorry sir ଆପଣ ପ୍ଲିଜ୍ go into scientific terms also because ଆମର ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ଅପଲୋଡ୍ସର ultimate idea ହେଲା it reaches all sorts of audience so please feel free to use scientific terms also କିଛି
No, no,
ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ
that I will use because I have to use
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଯୋଉ example ଟା ଆମେ ଦବା ସେଥିରେ କଣ ଆସିବ କି ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ terms ଏମିତି ଆସିଯିବ ଯୋଉଠି ତ ମତେ ବର୍ଡର ନାଁଟା ତ କହିବାକୁ ପଡିବ and ଆଇଡେଣ୍ଟିଫାଇ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ that will be easier actually better ହବ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ it's just that ମୁଁ ଆମେ ବର୍ଡର ନାଁଟା କହିଲେ କଣ ମୁଁ କାହିଁ ପଚାରିଲି ଏ ଜିନିଷଟା କାହିଁକିନା ବେଳେ ବେଳେ କଣ ହୁଏ let's say it's very rare there are certain birds which may not be very impressive or may not be very good looking or but there are certain species which may not be that important visually but they create a lot of impact on the habitat hmm.
Right.
ସେଥିପାଇଁ କହିଲି let's say kingfisher all of you must be knowing
Yes.
right hmm. For an example let's say in Bhitarkanika is famous for crocodiles right
Right.
but the other part of Bhitarkanika, why Bhitarkanika is famous among birders and others also, like wildlife enthusiasts. Bhitarkanika is the only place on earth where you find 8 varieties of kingfishers at one place in one habitat. Hmm. So you have 8 varieties of kingfisher you can find in Bhitarkanika itself. So that makes it very special. And out of 8, 7, anybody, if you take a boat and if you start scouting for kingfishers, anybody can see all the 7 species. Not the 8 species is now not. We are not able to see that 8 species now nowadays. But say at least 7 species you will see for guaranteed. You will see if the sighting is for sure within a day. You at least can see five kingfishers. So that is the specialty about Bhitarkanika. Besides that, there is another bird known as mangrove pitta, which is on the eastern part of the zone. It is only available in Sundarbans and in your Bhitarkanika. So anyway, uh, there are certain things that are so interesting about habitats. It's only possible to know about it when we showcase a photograph, we talk about it, we detail it out, we document it, and we write an article about it, then only people come to know. That actually inspires others to come into the picture and into the channel. So this is one. So on the another part, acha, the kingfishers that you can see 2 kingfishers are there. One is pollard kingfisher. Then the other one is your stock-billed kingfisher. These are again from Bhitarkanika. Now, the photographs are like it's kind of a storytelling kind of a thing. So they tell a story for themselves. So if I talk about a kingfisher just without showing you a photograph, then it will be very boring. Nobody will take interest in it. in listening. But if I show a photograph of a kingfisher, before many, I have done workshops in many places. Kingfisher, matlab, people only imagine that kingfisher that we see on that, kingfisher bottle, the, that UB bottles. Otherwise, there are 7 other varieties of kingfisher. Very few people know about it. So it is all about showcasing uh, a beautiful thing and then explaining about it creates interest. And how that is going to help in conservation, that we will discuss. Acha. Before we start, I must tell you that there are ethics of wildlife photography. Uh, no photograph is worth harming a wildlife. No, you cannot do justice. You cannot justify your photograph by harming an animal just for a photo. I mean, I've seen many photographers who harm just for their photograph. They can go to any extent, which is not correct. Respecting nature and behavior of the habitat. Then honesty in representation. You must represent what you have shot and what you have seen without manipulating it much. Then your accuracy of information. We must first do our study, do our research work before talking about it or before even getting into the wild to shoot something. So those who are interested in wildlife photography must understand that one need to be at a safe distance at any given time, depending on the size of the subject, the vulnerability of the subject, and the you know the nature of the subject. We must know if we are shooting a snake, that we must understand that what kind of snake it is, if it is venomous or if it is not non-venomous, what is the striking range, so from what distance I can safely shoot the snake. These are important. Then appropriate equipment. You cannot shoot a snake with a snake or a tiger with a mobile camera. If you really want to have a portrait of a tiger, you cannot go out with your iPhone and just start shooting. You can do it from a distance, no problem, but don't try to be more adventurous. Then there are legal compliances. Every place, every century, they have legal compliances. We must understand and we must uh, ask and do our research before getting into any of the forest and see if we can shoot over there or not. We must take proper permissions and even if it's a private property, if you see a bird in a private property, you must take permission from the owner and get into the premises. So these are very simple things. I think these are common sense, nothing much to talk about. So, and nowadays, where we upload all this, like how we can generate this kind of awareness and this interest among people. One is social media, no doubt about it. Then, when we are sharing it on social media, but we must understand that after once you share it, after that you don't have any control over it. It can reach unlimited places, unlimited masses. Now you cannot filter out that those who are interested in wildlife photography or conservation or wildlife enthusiasts who are really concerned about the habitat or the species. It doesn't go to them only. It goes to the people who are into poaching, who are into other things which can harm the habitat. They also see that. So revealing things on wildlife, you before even revealing it, you must go through the details, must understand what are the repercussions of it. So if you are sharing something on social media which is related to wildlife, which has a sensitive habitat, then you must share it very responsibly on social medias. And better to avoid geotagging. When you geotag something like for a species, say hornbill. Hornbill it's a very vulnerable species for poachers. Hornbills, hornbill fins in ODI it is called pochidakai. the most hunted bird. Many poachers look for it. So if you are shooting a hornbill somewhere, if you manage to find a hornbill and you have managed to get a good photograph of it, don't share the location of it. You may say that I should shot it at Simlipal, or you may shot it at uh, Satkosia, but did not say that where specifically you shot that, because that will put the bird in danger. Okay, so this is a case study. I will not take much time. I will just go fast. This is not very interesting, but then just for the sake of understanding.
Nanda, we need not worry about time actually, because when we do things, we actually would like to go into details. So you are not in a hurry to, you are not exactly complying to any timeline, okay? So
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. But still, I will try and manage to within the time. I will try to manage
yes,
things
yes,
within the
yes,
time.
yes.
So, just to let you know, say Chilka, those who were before 2005 or 2008, if you would have searched for Chilika on Google, then you would have found these as results. These are the images that you would have found. I have marked some images over here. You can see there are some red marks. କିଛି କିଛି ମୁଁ ବୁଲେଇଛି ଯୋଉଗୁଡାକ ଚିଲିକାର ହିଁ ନୁହଁ। ଏ ଫଟୋ ଗୁଡାକ କୋଉଦିନ ଚିଲିକାର ନଥିଲା। ଚିଲିକା ଇଜ ଏ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ପାରାଡାଇସ୍ ଆମେ ବହୁତ ଆଗରୁ ଶୁଣି ଆସିଛୁ, ସ୍କୁଲରୁ ଛୋଟ ବେଳଠୁ ପିଲା ବେଳଠୁ ଶୁଣୁଛେ। ବଟ୍ 2008 ଯାଏ ବି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ ରେଜଲ୍ଟ ଅଫ 2008 ର ଗୁଗଲ ସର୍ଚ୍ଚଟା। ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଏଥିରେ ସର୍ଚ୍ଚରେ ଏବେ ବି ଦେଖିବେ, ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଚିଲ୍କା ବିଫୋର 2008 ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏଠି ଦେଇଛି, ଏମିତି ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଏବେ ବି ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରିବେ, ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ଶୋ ଦ ରିଜଲ୍ଟସ୍ ବିଫୋର 2008। ତ ସେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଡଲଫିନ୍ସ, ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବଟଲ ନୋଜ ଡଲଫିନ୍ସ ଦେଖାଯାଉଥିଲା, ଯୋଉ ମାନେ ଫଟୋଗ୍ରାଫରେ ପଡିଥିଲା ଚିଲ୍କାରେ ଦେଖାଯାଏ ବୋଲି, ଯୋଉଟା କି କେବେ ବି ନଥିଲା। ସବୁବେଳେ ଚିଲ୍କାରେ କେବେ ବଟଲ ନୋଜ ଦେଖାଯାଏନି, ସବୁବେଳେ ଇରାବୋଲି ଦେଖାଯାଏ। So flamingos kichi thila. So this was the result of Chilka in 2008. Now let's go to the second slide. If you would have searched for Manglajodi in 2008, then you would have got nothing. ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କିଛି results ମିଳିନଥାନ୍ତା, zero ମିଳିଥାନ୍ତା। ମଙ୍ଗଳାଜୋଡ଼ିରେ କ'ଣ ଥାନ୍ତା, ଆଉ ଯଦି ବି ମିଳିଥାନ୍ତା, haunted trees, then there are all negative things. ମଙ୍ଗଳାଜୋଡ଼ି ଗୋଟେ ମ୍ୟାପରେ ଥିଲା ହିଁ ନାହିଁ। I'm not talking about very far. It is in 2008. 2005 ରୁ ମଙ୍ଗଳାଜୋଡ଼ି actually discover ହେଇଥିଲା। 2005 ପରଠୁ 2008 ଆଡ଼କୁ। This was the result of Google. Then in 2009-10 ବେଳକୁ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ଆ ଭିତରେ ମଙ୍ଗଳାଜୋଡ଼ି related photographs ପଡ଼ିଲା। But this was not good enough to promote it as as a place for tourism. ତ ସେତେବେଳେ କିଛି ଲୋକ ଏଠାରେ ଆସିଲେ, କାମ କଲେ ମଙ୍ଗଳାଜୋଡ଼ିରେ। One of them, one of the organization is Wild Odisha. Then another organization was CPSW. Now CPSW, right, then you can see this result, Pankaj Sharma, Dr. Pankaj Sharma. He is now in army. Actually, this guy deserves all the credit for bringing up Mangalajodi. He is the person who actually called me up, asked me that if I can help them promoting Mangalajodi in terms of photographs. And I was not even aware. This was in around 2007. When he asked me that ऐसा Mangalajodi hai, we get about 7 lakh birds over there, and उसको हमको promote करना है। 7 lakh birds in Odisha you are talking about? Yes, it's a paradise for birds, and we want to promote it and change it. I mean, want to give it identity as a ecotourism place. So this is back in 2007. Even I was not aware about Mangalajodi. Then he took me along with him. When I visited the place, I was amazed. What you see nowadays, it was a heaven then, because it was completely undisturbed area. full of birds. When ଯେତେବେଳେ ବୋଟ ଯାଉଥିଲା ମଝିରେ birds କୁ ସାଇଡ କରିକି ଆମକୁ ଯିବାକୁ ପଡୁଥିଲା, otherwise we were not able to move forward. ଏମିତି condition ଥିଲା. So my job, I was the first person to get into this place as a photographer, just to promote Mangalajodi. Along with me, I took another two photographers. This is, I'm talking about 2006, 2005, 2006. Then I started taking photographs. You can see these are my photographs in 1710 Pakapaki, around 2009, 2010 Pakapaki. I started promoting Mangalajodi through my lenses. Then many other people started joining in. I started pouring it into Facebook. I started putting it into Flickr with all tags and everything as Mangalajodi. These are all from Mangalajodi. These are the photographs. All the photographs are taken from Mangalajodi. Then we started a calendar. Nowadays, most of the time I work for this particular company, MGM Groups. We have been doing calendars since past 17 years, just to promote one or some of the other places in Odisha. We will promote through that calendar. If you, all of you, any of you want that particular, this time it was on Assembly Park. If any of you want a copy of this calendar, then please do DM me your address. I can send you. So first time in 2011, we made publish a calendar on Mangalajodi, that birds of Chilka or Mangalajodi. It was a 12 pages calendar. We just posted 12. In fact, we printed about 12 bird photographs in it. This was the first ever published material that went out into the public, and let me tell you that we print about 5,000 copies of this calendar, and it is distributed free of cost among in many places in all the elite classes. Now after that, we started participating into different competitions in the name of Mangalajodi. This is a exhibition, actually a competition and exhibition conducted by WWF in 2011. You can see the first three photographs on top of the lady who is showing those photographs are from Mangalajodi, and two of them are from Mangalajodi, and another place I was also promoting, that is Rushikulya.
And who is that gentleman whose back only we can see? The bald.
That is Pankaj Sharma.
Okay.
That is Pankaj Sharma. I couldn't visit that exhibition, but this is what got promoted. And unfortunately, I won the competition. I was in the second and third place. Both the bird photograph got second and third place, but unfortunately, the Olive Ridley couldn't make it. But they displayed it in the exhibition hall. So this is how slowly we started pushing Mangalajodi as a tourism, place. Soon after that, then fortunately, Odisha Tourism, they took my this photograph and promoted it for Mangalajodi. This photograph is taken in Mangalajodi, but at that time, even the government was not very keen on promoting Mangalajodi, because they used to think that in fact, it is a part of Chilka, but then arguably you can say that if even Satpura is part of Chilka, why do we promote Satpura in a different way? Differently we promote it. Similarly, Mangalajodi is a part of Chilka, but it can be promoted in a different way, differently. So they took this photograph and they started promoting it. Now, this actually motivated me further. Then I used to visit twice a week to Mangalajodi and started shooting. For till 2015, I was shooting over there, and we kept pouring in all those photographs. Not only me, many other photographers had also, by that time, many other photographers also joined the whole purpose. They all started pouring in photograph into the social media, and in articles through different platforms, started pouring in. Now, in 2013, uh, the major breakthrough came for me. That is, around 30 of my Mangla Jodi photographs got published in Yahoo Lifestyle. This gave a lot of boost to the international tourists and birders. After 13, then things started moving in Mangla Jodi. Many photographers from different places started coming into the place. Now, by then, let me tell you, तब तक तो रहने के लिए भी जगह नहीं था, कुछ नहीं था, nothing was there. People used to stay over here in Bhubaneswar and they used to go to Mangla Jodi, shoot over there, and they again come back. At this point of time, we realized that it's now time to develop it as a tourism hub. Now, during this time, we made another group in Facebook known as Birds of Odisha. We must be having more than 15,000 members now in Birds of Odisha. We encouraged other birders and wildlifers to come to Mangla Jodi and different parts of Odisha and start shooting. Now, this particular group was not for Mangla Jodi only, but from different places of from anywhere. Like anybody who is shooting or getting a photograph, managed to get a photograph of bird from any place in Orissa, they can post it over here with details. So this was in 2013. We made this group. Surprisingly, many people came in. Within no time, within a year or so, we had about 3,000 members in this particular group. And this group, it was a very informal group. This made a lot of change in Odisha birding. इससे पहले कभी ओडिशा में बर्डिंग का भी ग्रुप कभी था नहीं. This was the first group, and till now, the largest member we have in this group. Though it is a self-run group, I was the admin. I don't manage it anymore. It is on its own, but still, it has the largest number. So people were posting pictures over here from Bittarkanika, from Mangla Jodi, and all these places. So, like, कभी कभी क्या होता है, like if a person, let's say a internationally famed photographer, he sees that if I am visiting Orissa, then I should have multiple places to visit. Say Mangla Jodi is one place. If a person is coming to Odisha for 7 days, then we wanted to keep that person engaged for 7 days. So for that, we had to give him other options also. Like if he's shooting in Mangla Jodi, then for jungle birds, he can travel to Vitarkanika, he can go to Betnoi for animal sighting like black buck and all these sightings. So this is how things moved on. Now, at this point of time, as I said, that we started thinking seriously about promoting Mangla Jodi as a hub for tourism. Now, for this, you need a lot of things. You need infrastructure over there where people can stay, can talk, can visit, can boats need to be there. Then conservation effort like guides and boats, all these things were required. So we started doing competitions first. Mangla Jodi ka competition kiye and asked for photographs from other photographers who have taken, photographs from Mangla Jodi to exhibit, and in big exhibitions we conducted training programs for these boatmen, guide, and even for hospitality training. गांव में कुछ लोगों को पकड़ के उनको hospitality training भी दिया, so that they can actually cater to the tourists that are coming in, so that tourist info that is coming in, so that they can cater to those tourists. Now these things started at this point of time. स्टोरी टेलिंग तो चल ही रहा था एट डिफरेंट कंपटीशन लेवल में. बहुत लोग आते थे, बहुत लोग फोटोग्राफ लेके जाते थे, बाहर जाके प्रमोट करते थे. दे यूज्ड टू पब्लिश आर्टिकल्स, दे यूज्ड टू टॉक ऑन एफबी, फेसबुक एंड इंस्टाग्राम. ये सब चल रहा था. अच्छा, द कंपटीशन, सॉरी, ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, it took us some time. It is very difficult to orient villagers towards, you know, uh, for handling tourists, high-end tourists. So it took some time. We took them to different places. It is for training and all. IGS did a fantastic job in this, by in this whole thing. Even Wild Odisha has done a fantastic job. All these things. They were into all these things. As a photographer, my job and other photographers were there also. Their job was to keep pouring photographs into the social media and other places to make the whole place popular. So now, what happened after IGS made such huts over there in Mangalajodi for staying. These are all made up of mud, locally available material. And ऐसे आपके beds होते थे छोटे छोटे huts बना के वहाँ पे staying facilities we developed. Then some homestay facilities also we developed over there by giving training to the local villagers. Now what happened when we involved all these villagers and when they realized that this can be a big changer thing. It's, basically most of the Mangalachodi and nearby villagers, they were poachers. They used to kill birds for their living. When they realized that there is an opportunity over here, they stopped poaching. And we converted all those poachers, like Wild Odisha and IGS deserves a big applaud for that in this. They trained all these poachers as guides. Why? Because these poachers were very much aware and well trained beforehand. They knew that which kind of birds are coming where, at what time one can find them, and all needed to, the effort was to make them understand the scientific name of the bird and the habitat. इसके बारे में ट्रेन करना था उनको, इंग्लिश में बर्ड का नाम बताना था, गाइड दे बुक से उनको समझाना था. They now poaching is illegal. Now when they found that they can make money by doing all these things, they stopped poaching and they started protecting birds, which was a big game changer in Bangladesh. Now, after that, we did some exhibitions, photography exhibitions. In these exhibitions, we invited corporates, then your elite classes to buy photographs of Mangalajodi. And whatever money that we made from all these exhibitions, we spent the whole money over there in Mangalajodi for development of schools. Like we did one exhibition. The first exhibition, we got about 8 lakhs out of by selling all these photographs. Now this is the team that you can see. The top right corner. There's a whole team. Some of them were photographers and some of them were sponsors. Now we installed about art school में हम लोग ये aqua guard with overhead tank, like वहाँ पे स्कूल के पानी के लिए नहीं था, like पीने का ड्रिंकिंग वाटर के लिए नहीं था, तो we managed to do that. तो पूरा उसका ओवरहेड टैंक बना के, देन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शंस थ्रू इन्वर्टर दे के, देन एक्वागार्ड लगा के फॉर स्टूडेंट्स वी डिड दिस थ्रू whatever the money that we could manage to get through these exhibitions, we spent it over here. This gave another boost to the villagers that, see, if we protect these birds, then we are getting in national level, limelight. People are coming in. All these corporates, they started visiting the place. So they were thrilled. The villagers, actually, for any kind of conservation activities, you have to involve the local community. If the local community is not involved and if they are not a part of the whole system, then it's not going to work. And these things take time. Like what is happening most of the time I have seen, The CSR fund is actually spent for development of the villages. Like कहीं कहीं पे आपने स्विंग मशीन दे दिया, कहीं पे कुछ दे दिया CSR एक्टिविटीज में. They actually don't work. जिस दिन वो CSR वो मशीन टूट गया, उसका कोई लेने वाला भी, nobody will be there to repair it. So you need to give them training, handhold them, and take them forward. Then only it works. So anyway, why I'm showing you all these things, that by what photography can mean to conservation efforts. Now you see in 2014 and 15, if you search for the Google results of 2015 and 14, the scenario was completely different. You will get very nice photographs of birds, tourists coming in. So this is how things are changed within 7 to 8 years of frame. By 2016, the Mangalajodi was on world map. After 16, now it is on the self-run mode. We don't have to promote it anymore. It is on the on its own on its own. So now this is the result of 2023. Bangla Jodi is all over. If you search for Bangla Jodi, then you will get around 13 pages of the results in Google. Now think about 2008. When we search for Bangla Jodi, the results were zero. Now we have landed in 2023. The results we get about 13 pages of. Now we must be getting more than that nowadays. I haven't checked. But this is how photograph can change things of a place. Hope all of you enjoyed it. Like, now that is my case study. Besides this, photography also supports the scientific research, like visual documentation. Now, anybody can recognize these birds, the birds that are shown on the left. They are cormorants, very common in Chilka and Mangalajodi. Very common.
Panikua.
Yes, Panikwa. Yes. You can see a Panikwa in a white color Panikwa. Has anyone ever seen?
I have seen only the black one.
Yeah, there are black ones only. But then at times you will find काऊ के पे दौड़ा न था बोली कौन थी, but then Thai I've seen. So this is a very rare photograph of Panikwa in Mangalajodi. Uh, Little cormorant, the English name of this bird is little cormorant. And fortunately, I got both the birds, like the black one and the white one, side by side for comparison. This is the albino one. So for visual documentation, it is also required. The photograph may not be very beautiful or may not be very impressive, but at times it is for the purpose of documentation and for the scientific studies. Now, when you document things scientifically, or when you promote it in different articles, then it actually starts influencing the policies, government policies. As I said, long back, people never used to recognize, even the government departments were reluctant to recognize Mangalajodi as a place for tourism potentials. Now, the bird fests are coming over there. Mangalajodi bird festivals are happening. So, if things are taken in a proper order and with time, even the policies will change, things will come into place. And it will also, the funds in behind anything, if you see, then it is all about funds. If you are not getting funds inflow in a place, then nothing will work. So the impact of our campaigning actually pulled in a lot of tourists from different places from international tourists. Even the foreigners started visiting Mangalajodi. Throughout India, we are getting tourists, bird enthusiasts, wildlife photographers, scientists, uh, everywhere. Nobody was coming in. That actually generated a lot of revenue in Mangalajodi, which also helped in conservation. When funds starts flowing in, then things change. So challenges and consideration. Now I need not. This is self-explanatory actually. Conservation of photography is, when you are giving access. Like at times we publish photographs. Say if this infrastructure wasn't there. इससे पहले एमती गोटे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नथांता मंगलाजोड़ी ଆଉ ଆଜି ଲୋକ ସେଠିକି ଯାଉଥାନ୍ତେ କଣ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା କେଉସ ହେଇଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା କିଛି ନଥାନ୍ତା ବେଶୀ ଇନଫ୍ଲୁଏନ୍ସ ଯାଇଥିଲେ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏବେ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ସେମିତି ହେଇ ବି ଯାଉଛି so ସେ access ଟା ଗୋଟେ restricted ବି ହବା ଦରକାର ବହୁତ ଲୋକ complain କରନ୍ତି that why we are not allowed into the core areas of forest and places. There is a reason behind it. Everybody cannot get in. It is not a tourist place. Those who understand it, those who respect it, those who can value it, only they should be allowed into it. So access versus protection. If you let everybody come into a place without having a proper system in place to filter out things, then things will get messed up. Now, those all of you must be knowing, all of you know about Mangalajodi. If you ever visit Mangalajodi on a festive day, let's say on Christmas or on New Year, then you will not see a single bird. You will only see people, right? So at times, if things get over promoted, then the place also gets destroyed. So we need to understand that part also, that how much protection is needed and how much access we should give. That is one. Managing with visitation, like every place have their capacity of handling people. Let's say in Mangalajodi, if it can handle 50 boats in a day, then we must restrict it to 50 boats. The same thing what you can, if you go to Ranthambore and all these places, they have limited number of gypsies. They don't allow beyond that. Even in African safaris, you are allowed in a particular number of vehicles are allowed within a day. So this managing thing is there. So these are the things. So what it does, so basically wildlife photography, it inspires for without any doubts. It also educates. It educates about the species, about the bird, about the place and everything. It also documents. It documents about the particular habitat in one point of time, then how it changed to another habitat. And if there are any new species are getting in, new things are happening due to some change, that documentation it helps in documenting the whole system, and it motivates. It motivates uh, many, like what I am doing over here. I'm just trying to motivate you all to visit the place, to see things, to observe, you know, to understand from your own perspective. Now, this is all. So I will just now, this is all about my conservation story, that how wildlife photography helps in conservation. I tried to explain the whole thing in a very short, very comprehensive manner. Hope all of you understood it. Don't know if you have any questions, you can ask me. After this, there is nothing much to talk about. I will show my work so far as a wildlife photographer. Whatever I have done in wildlife photography, I will showcase that. Those who are interested in photography, and if you want to ask some question in about techniques or about the species or something, you may ask me.
Nanda Babu, first I would like to request you to kindly switch off this presentation so that we can ask others to switch on their camera and we all can see each other.
So,
Okay. Now I would request all members to switch on your camera so that we can have a very good discussion. Truly, Nanda Babu, you have really educated and motivated us.
thank you so much,
Uh,
sir. I managed to do that.
as your final slide, you have actually succeeded in doing that. Now, I have, before letting the question and answer session begin, I have few observations to make. Is
Hmm.
there any place where I can find scientific names of birds names in Odia?
In Odia.
Don't do
Yes, sir.
Gorchatiya, or English account, for example. If there
Sir,
is any centralized place where I
yes,
can.
yes, yes. Centralized तो नहीं, sir. There is a PDF that is with me. I
Okay.
can share that with you, and you can share it with
Oh,
your
sure,
member.
sure. So I'd love to have that. Okay.
Sir.
Now, you probably rightly said when you said that before 2000, that Mangalagudi place was not known, because I remember in 1992, I came across one gentleman, his name was Even Deb. He
Yes,
was
sir.
running one associates project Bihang.
Yes, sir.
So he used to live close to my house in Bhubaneswar. I was in Bhoynagar. So
Yes, sir.
I'm also a ham radio operator. So
Sir.
he wanted to take help of ham radio in counting of bars.
Hmm.
Somehow ham radio is not exactly meant to be used in that scenario, or at
Yes.
least when a sole ham radio operator cannot in any meaningful manner contribute towards such an exercise, so that finally could not take place. But then I did see him from close quarters, his works, and I never heard about Mangalajudi at that point of time. Okay. Uh,
And then, sir, you list the list, that PDF that I'm going to share with you with Odia name and scientific name
yes,
with the common name. That is actually half of it is prepared by you and Dev, sir. Hmm.
I see. Okay.
There's
Okay.
no more, but then
Yeah, I also later on
yeah,
came to know that.
absolutely.
Now, just a month or two back, we had been to Kuladiha
Good idea.
sanctuary. So we went there. We
Hmm.
group of ham radio operators every year. We go to places as a field day. We came across a group of photographers from West Bengal. And
So,
they were actually narrating many interesting things about birds of Kuladiha. Especially, they were telling about hanging parakeet.
yes, sir.
And that is probably one species which is only found
Uh,
in
yes, Vernal hanging parakeet. Hmm.
exactly vernal hanging
Yes,
parakeet.
yes.
Okay. Then one more thing I would like to know. Uh, has ever exercise been carried out to trace flight path of a bird from Siberia to Chilka? Any GPS
Yes,
tracking?
sir. Yes, sir. Hmm. There are actually many instances where they have ringed particular birds. So it is not necessarily that Siberia, from Baluchistan, even bird come in. From Russia, they come in. The bar-headed geese, they come from all the way from Russian Arctics. Hmm.
Do you have any
So,
such? Do you have any
yeah,
such
yeah.
document where I can see that flight
There
path,
are
how much
many,
time they
many,
take?
there are many books. Actually, I have some books over here. If you, I can give you those books on migration path of birds.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
they're very interesting to read,
Maybe next
actually.
time when I come to Bhubaneswar, I will come to you and
Yeah, yeah, please
flip
do
through
so,
those
sir.
books. Okay.
Yeah, if I can, there are some research papers actually. For every bird they ring, they publish a research paper. I must be having all those research papers. I will share that with you.
Okay.
There are different birds actually. They whenever they find a ringed bird, they trace the path. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There are GPS also. Nowadays they fix GPS with bird nose.
And
So
normally, how much time do take they take to fly? Suppose from
no,
Siberia to,
depends on the bird caliber and the capabilities.
and all
So,
along they keep
yeah,
flying,
yeah.
or they also
I will,
land somewhere
I will tell
to.
you a very interesting story about bar-headed geese. This particular bird, it travels above Himalayas. Hmm. Now
Acha.
imagine when you travel above Himalaya, it flies at a zone where there is an absence of oxygen.
Acha.
You do not have oxygen over there. Hmm. जहाँ जो फ्लाइट पाथ थ्रू सेटा आसे से बर्डटा क्रॉस करिकी हिमालय क्रॉस करिकी से ऊपर ऑक्सीजन नहीं.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
କେମିତି
ଆଉ
ପୁଣି ସେମାନେ
ସେଠି
ବଞ୍ଚନ୍ତି?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଇଏରେ ସେମାନେ fly କରନ୍ତି, they conserve their energy, they glide through that whole pass.
Okay, okay, like albatross.
Yes,
Albatross,
they
huh?
glide through that whole pass,
Mhm.
and that is why that bird is very interesting to understand. Like they take quite a lot of time. ସେମାନେ କଣ କରନ୍ତି, like the barred geese, they come to your either Thol को ଆସିବେ ନହେଲେ Bharatpur ଆସିବେ, Bharatpur ରେ ଗୋଟେ break ନେଇକି then again they will come to Chilka.
Oh, they
They
take
will go
breaks.
further. Yes, that is how they come. But
Oh.
a bird like Amur falcon, it can fly throughout. Within two breaks, it can reach.
And how much time do they take?
It depends actually. It's not that ସେମାନେ ସେମିତି ନେବେ, ଧରନ୍ତୁ 2 ଦିନରେ ବି ପହଞ୍ଚି ଯାଇପାରିବ ଗୋଟେ Amur falcon.
कितने किलोमीटर?
Amur falcon नहीं, ସେମାନେ ତ ସେମିତି ଗୋଟେ Amur falcon about 2000 ମୋତେ exactly ମନେ ପଡୁନି, I think 1200 ରୁ 1300 କିଲୋମିଟର ଗୋଟେ Amur falcon ଗୋଟେ ଥରରେ fly କରିପାରିବ.
Impressive.
Peregrine falcon, Amur falcon, peregrine falcons, these are ଆମର ଏଠି peregrine falcons ଆସନ୍ତି.
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ମୁଁ ପଚାରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି, ଏଇ ଯୋଉ କୋଚିଂ ଜିନିଷଟା କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟଲି ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ନା ଏବେ ବି ହଉଛି?
It has been covered by, like in Manglajodi and Bhusanpur area re 90% बंद ही जाइए. Can they know that they can make money out of tourism. If they kill birds, then they won't be able to survive. If the birds न रहिବେ. Secondly, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଅପସନ ହେଲା, କାହିଁକି ସେମାନେ କୋଚିଂ ହେଇପାରୁନି ବି ବେଶୀ, ଯୋଉମାନେ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ବି କରିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି, କାହିଁକିନା there is an inflow of tourists. When you have more eyes roaming around uh, in a place, then it is very difficult to, it is a protection in itself. ଗୋଟିଏ ଲୋକ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବୁଲୁଛନ୍ତି, ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି, ତାହେଲେ ଆପଣ ସେଠି କୋଚିଂ ଏତେ ଜଲ୍ଦି ହବନି. କୋଚିଂ କୋଉଠି ହଉଛି, ଯୋଉଠି ଲୋକ ଯାଉନାହାନ୍ତି, ବେଶୀ ହିଡେନ୍ ହେଇକି ଅଛି, ଜାଣିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି, ସେଠି କୋଚିଂ ହଉଛି. ମଙ୍ଗଲାଯୋଡି ଆଣ୍ଡ ଓସନପୁର ଏରିଆ ଚିଲ୍କାରେ ତ ଏବେ ଏତେ ଲୋକ ଯେ ସେଠି କୋଚିଂ କଲେ ତ chances of getting caught is more.
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
So that is restricted. I won't say that बिल्कुल पूरा बंद है actually. But 90-95% ଆପଣ କହିପାରିବେ. ମଙ୍ଗଲାଯୋଡି ତ I can guarantee that 98% କୋଚିଂ stop ହେଇଯାଇଛି. ବଟ୍ ମଙ୍ଗଲାଯୋଡିର ଅଦର ପାଖାପାଖି ଏରିଆ ଲାଇକ୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଭୂଷଣପୁର ହେଇଗଲା କି କାଳପଡ଼ା ଘାଟ ହେଇଗଲା, ସେଠି ଟିକେ ଆମାଉଣ୍ଟରେ ହଉଛି. କିନ୍ତୁ ମଙ୍ଗଲାଯୋଡି is almost.
so one more thing I would like to know from you or listen from you is that when you started this activity, what kind of photographic equipment you are using, and over a period of time, how you have invested in more improved equipment, and what are those equipment? If you can briefly tell us
Yeah.
that, then we can go to question and answer session, because my friends would be also quite interested to comment and know more about.
Sure, sir. So actually, when I started with photographing macros, and um, I started for doing photography at a very young age.
Yes.
I was only 11 years old uh, when I started doing photography. And when I was 13 years old, my first photograph got published in National Daily Telegraph and Sunday. At that time, there were two magazines. So I was 13 years old at that time. So two of my photographs got published in those national dailies. At that time, I had film cameras. My base, I started learning from film cameras only.
Mhm.
Those
And
cameras,
when was that?
that was in, I think, 82. Hmm. So at that time, I started with film cameras. And at that time, my father had a Olympus camera. That was my favorite camera. I was so impressed with that particular
SLR, SLR,
brand.
SLR.
Yeah, it was at that time it is OM1. I still have that camera with me. I can show that. So then that passion continued, and I then after that I shifted to Yashica because of the price, because Olympus gears are very costly. I shifted to Yashica in my school when I grew up around school days. During plus two, I was using a Yashica. Then after that, again, I switched over to Olympus. Now I have all the gears that I have are from Olympus. Mm.
DSLR.
Yes, sir. All I have three DSLRs. Then I have many other Olympus gears also. Like for macros, I have a different camera. For underwater, I have a different camera. Acha, your question was how I started. Like when I started shooting in Mangla Jodi, at that time I had a 300 lens. Hmm. Because of that 300, Pankaj knew about that 300 that I have. I'm the only one who is having a 300 at that time. So he requested me that since you have the equipment, why don't you try it? That is how. At that time, I had only had one body and few lenses. One macro lens, one this telephoto lens, 300, 150, 70 to 300 then another 100 These are the three lenses that I had. I started from there, and now I have about three camera bodies of Olympus. Then and have almost all the pro lenses of Olympus camera.
I saw one photo of a snake's fang from
Yeah.
very close quarter. So, has it ever happened that you kind of stepped into a dangerous situation and then regretted it that I should not have done this?
No, I have never regretted. I have been bitten, but I have never regretted it.
By venomous snake?
No, 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 non-venomous, non-venomous. And whenever I shoot, I have trained professionals around me who can handle trained professional snake handlers around me who used to monitor my because when I am behind the camera, I won't be able to judge the distance and the striking distance.
Yes.
So you have to be very careful. You must have somebody with you who can tell you that okay, it's nearing or you are within the zone of strike.
Right.
That is how, but I never had any bad experience ever with snakes. Whatever has happened, it was enjoyable.
Now I would request Madam Prita to take over and carry out the question and answer session. Prita.
धन्यवाद सुनील सर. First of all, like a huge thanks to architect Shakti Nanda sir. बहुत भला थिला आपणकर ए प्रेजेंटेशन टा ओवरऑल लाइक बहुत एनलाइटनिंग एक्चुअली कहबी कहीं समस्ते भावे फोटोग्राफी खाली सुंदर इमेजेस विषय आपण कहबे एंड ऑल बट द थिंग्स दैट यू कवर्ड अबाउट कंजर्वेशन और अबाउट अवेयरनेस अबाउट सस्टेनेबिलिटी अबाउट रेस्पॉन्सिबल टूरिज्म ऑल्सो ये सब जिनस बहुत इंपोर्टेंट एंड मत गोटे बहुत भल जिनस लगे आप जोटा जो वार्निंग माने गोटे सॉर्ट ऑफ वार्निंग भी समस्त कहले जिते लोक मैंने सोशल मीडिया रे किछि पोस्ट करूछंती इवन अन्य मानको कहउछंती भी बेले बेले जने इनोसेंटली करथाई पारे बट इट माइट आल्सो बी व्यूड बाय पीपल हु हैव इविल इंटेंशंस कि के पोस्ट करिया चाहे के नहीं जावा चाहे कि आउ को हिसाब भी को तार काम तापर करिया चाहछंती तेणु सेटा भी से रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आल्सो वेरी मच नीडेड मोर निजर गोटे दुईटी क्वेश्चन अच्छी आपण
Thank you so much for all your praises. Hope that they are all honest and genuine.
ट्रुली मोर गोटे दुईटा क्वेश्चन अच्छी किंतु
Yes,
मु
please.
गोटे काम करुच्ची मु प्रथमे लेट्स गो टू आवर ऑडियंस व्यूअर समस्त को पचारिबा देन आई हैव समथिंग आई वांट टू आस्क यू सो आई विल गो लास्ट सो आपण समस्त मु तो कैमरा ऑन देखुची धनंजय भंज सर अच्छा आदित्य बाबू अच्छा प्रीतिरंजन मेकअप सर अच्छा आ संजय भाई भी अच्छा ध्यानचंद मिश्र सर भी अच्छा बट आपड़ भी किसी पचार चाहिए पर आप कैमरा ऑन करेंगे आपण मैंने तो क्या एनीबडी कैन गो जी आगे पचार चाहते गो हेड
Please feel free to ask whatever you want to ask.
धनंजय भंज सर प्लीज गो हेड
Namaste. Actually, I'm very sorry I could not attend the program from the beginning, but I liked your last slide that four terms EDEM. EDEM means inspire, document, educate, and motivate. So
Sir.
you are working in this field since 1982, and
Sir.
you are a professional photographer with lens camera, filmy camera. So I think with your photography, with so many exhibitions and so much popularizing through your side, any NGO they are in with your contact that we should organize exhibitions. We can sell the photographs. Such type of programs are you arranging in cities, grade B, grade A, or metro cities in India or Odisha? And then another thing that you told that educate photography also educate everything actually educates. So when you are documenting any future plan to publish in book for your special photographs, collection of your photographs, are you going to publish a coffee book, coffee table book? Such type of idea is in your mind. And third thing, from Kalupara Ghat to Nachuni, Haripur, even up to Parikudi to Baluga, everywhere, can you differentiate what is the difference between that bird sanctuary and ecotourism spot? If Mangalajodi cannot be a tourist spot, then ecotourism spot. How can we describe Mangalajodi as an ecotourism spot? Even Ranpur area, even Nayagar, Sunamuhi, Contilo Nayagar, there are also small dams are there. One dam is there. There also birds are coming, migratory birds are coming. So any initiative taken by government of Odisha or any NGOs, as per your knowledge, to uphead, to upbring, to develop such narrow, such infamous areas or unknown, not sorry, infamous is very bad word, unknown places
Understood. Yes, sir.
to bring in front in the folklore. So any idea and your book in future plan, you are taking so many photos. At the age of 13, you have published your book in National Sunday magazines. Very good. But any idea, have you published or you are, it is in pipeline to publish your photographs, a collection of photographs? Okay, thank you.
Sir, thank you so much for asking 4 questions you have asked, sir. So the first one is, if it is, sorry. First one was ecotourism, no, sir? It was on what kind of ecotourism? Okay. So the out of 4 questions, one is what we can actually. You asked me about my if I have ever published any books or not, profitable books or anything. I haven't published anything or any books from my end, but then I have worked for other departments like tourism department, for police department. I have made many books for them. So I myself haven't explored that. But of course, that is in the pipeline. All the assignments that I do are sponsored by some corporate or some departments. So all the work that I do, I give it to them. They publish books and everything on their own. I help them out. It is one. Then the second is definitely I want to have my own books. This is not only wildlife or something. I actually shoot in 4 genres in photography. One is architecture and heritage, then your nature, then wildlife, then your culture and crafts. These are the 4 genres where I shoot. So in all the genres, I have quite a good database to publish a book. So I'm thinking about it maybe in near future when I won't be able to shoot much and the energy will go down. I will start publishing books at that time. Right now, I'm just accumulating all this, but very soon, maybe within another 2, 3 years, you will get 2 or 3 books from my end. That is one. The second is you asked if I'm with any NGOs or not. No, sir, I am not with any NGOs. Whatever I have done, neither I am a member to any of the photography club or any photography group or anything. I am an independent individual. I don't believe in getting in to wildlife or any place with 40 photographers going to one place and shooting one thing. I'm not in favor of that. That will disturb the whole habitat. So yes, there are. I have some I have a organization named, I'm a director of that organization named OWL, Odisha Wildlife Lounge, where we have hardly 10 to 15 members are there. And it is basically for the scientific research work. We use that organization for scientific research work and publications. It's not about any fundraising or an NGO kind type of activities. Of course, I have worked for from that organization, like many conservation efforts we have initiated from that organization. I was an admin of Indian Birds, which has about more than 2 lakh members. Fortunately, many of my conservation efforts, they have supported me like anything. I thank them, and even Birds of Odisha members. And OWL is definitely it's my baby. Other than this, I haven't worked for any other NGOs. Like I'm not associated with any other NGOs. I've worked for them whenever they have called me for any reasons. So that is about NGO and then coffee table book. Then the another one is your ecotourism. If as you said that actually Orissa is unexplored. It's completely a virgin land as far as wildlife tourism is concerned or ecotourism is concerned. There are immense potentials. Fortunately, government had done a vision 2040 एक document बनेଥିଲେ around 3-4 years back. And for ecotourism, though I don't have any experience in ecotourism and anything, so they actually selected me as an author for ecotourism. Actually, it was on many chapters, like for wildlife conservation, for elephant corridors, for ecotourism. So I was heading that ecotourism part. And I had suggested 57 places, different places in Orissa for the development of ecotourism. And that is a Vision 2040 vision document for Orissa. It was done by Forest Department of Orissa in association with WTI, Wildlife Trust of India. I was the youngest author among all the veterans also were there. So out of those 57, I think government is working on almost like 30-40 destinations. So soon, many of them like Devamali and all these places, they are promoting it and it is on the pipeline. And very soon you will find even the Nayagarh site places you will find. They will also come in. Like many like Mankaddiya, you must have heard about if you were talking about Mankaddiya waterfall. It was first photograph was taken by me, and I was the one who promoted it. At that time, we never had any roads over there. Mankaddiya ଯିବାକୁ ହେଲେ ମାଙ୍କଡ ତା ନାଁଟା ହିଁ ମାଙ୍କଡିଆ ହେଇଥିଲା କାହିଁକି ନା ସେଠି ମାଙ୍କଡ ବଳି ଡେଇଁ ଯିବାକୁ ପଡୁଥିଲା ତ ସେଟା ବହୁତ ରିସ୍କ ନେଇକି ଯିବାକୁ ପଡେ ट्रेकिंग ऑलमोस्ट 4 आवर्स ट्रेकिंग थिला मु एपटू 10-15 ଯାଇଥିଲି आई डोंट नो लॉन्ग ट्रेकिंग डे बहुत टाइम लागिଥିଲା ସେପଟୁ ଫେରିବାକୁ ବି ସେମିତି ବହୁତ ଟାଇମ ଲାଗିଥିଲା କିନ୍ତୁ दैट वाज द फर्स्ट फोटोग्राफ बट नाउ इट इज ମୁଁ ତ ତା ପରଠୁ ଆଉ କେବେ ଯାଇନି बट व्हाट आई फाइंड दैट मेनी पीपल आर एबल टू रीच दैट प्लेस थ्रू बाइक्स बाइक पूरा से ଯାଇ ଯାଉଛି the tourism department has taken care of certain places. So hopefully in another 10 years, maybe we will have many things to explore. जोटी की normal लोग को भी जाइए
Thank you.
Sir, my pleasure.
बहुत धन्यवाद धनंजय बाबू and thank you Architect Shakti sir for your elaborate answers. एनी मु खाली जस्ट कोटे ऐड करिया को चाहिबी आउथरे my 2 cents. I hope Odisha सेमती unexplored रही रहू actually.
Very true. That is why I am not uploading anything and neither I am
Exactly, sir. Responsible tourism, our
Yes,
ecotourism mane responsible and only small packets se hi ho. We don't need that
very true.
explosion of tourism and irresponsible people.
Uncontrolled tourism is actually very bad for
ଏବେ
any
କୋରାପୁଟରେ
place.
ଯୋଉ ଅବସ୍ଥା ହଉଛି ଏଡେ ସୁନ୍ଦର
Yes.
ପ୍ରିଷ୍ଟିନ୍ locations ର
All Devamali and everything is actually
if
uh,
I will if I have time I'll add something. I love researching about our maritime past heritage ଆମର ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ଉତ୍କଳର କଳିଙ୍ଗର ମାନେ 2500 years 2800 years ଆଗରୁ ନେଇକି ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ମାନେ how Odisha has come to now how we are, right? So ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବେ ओडिशा जो कलिंग जो रीजन टा थिला जहाँ भी नॉट अ जोग्राफिकल थिंग जस्ट इज अ कल्चरल एंटिटी एंटायर बहुत समय पर्यंत इट ऑलवेज एंजॉयड एट अ प्रिस्टीन लोकेशन.
very true.
It was not approachable by outsiders that easily. And ଏଇଟାକୁ time and again even historians ମାନେ ବି mention କରିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ because of its pristine location ଯୋଉଟା କି unapproachable ଥିଲା ବାହାର ଲୋକମାନେ ତାକୁ either conquer ଆସି ବି ପାରୁନଥିଲେ ଠିକରେ, because of that the people who lived here they and ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଏଇ difficult terrain difficult situation କୁ ବି they knew how to work around that and ସେଇଟାରୁ ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର excellence create କରିପାରିଥିଲେ. So all that became their own strength.
Very
So
true.
ଏଇ ଯୋଉ strength ଟାକୁ ସେମାନେ maritime trade links ଯୋଗୁ ମାନେ people used to come but via sea route or ଆସୁଥିଲେ ବି ଏମାନେ ଯାଉଥିଲେ ବି it was all a control thing, it was not rampant.
True.
So ସେଇ ଯୋଗୁରୁ ଆମର ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ our originality our excellence always sustained for so long. ତ ଏବେ ବି ଆମେ ସେ ଦେଖୁଥିଲେ ବଟ୍ ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇକି ଆପ୍ରୋଚେବଲ୍ ହଉ ବଟ୍ ଗୋଟେ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସିବଲ୍ ୱେରେ ହଉ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟର ଏଥିରେ ତ ବହୁତ ପାର୍ଟ ରହିବ ବଟ୍ ସିଭିକ୍ ସେନ୍ସ ଅଲସୋ ପ୍ଲେଜ୍ ଅ ହ୍ୟୁଜ୍ ରୋଲ୍. ସିଭିକ୍ ସେନ୍ସ ନ ଆସିଲା ଯାଏଁ ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ଥିଙ୍କ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇଜ୍ ପସିବଲ୍.
ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଗରୁ ଟିକେ ଆଗରୁ କହୁଥିଲି,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
first you have to prepare the audience for the show. Unless and until you prepare the audience for the show, they will only spoil the whole thing. ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏଠି ଯେମିତି ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟସରେ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟସରେ ପ୍ରମୋସନକୁ ନେଇକି ପ୍ରମୋସନ ମାନେ ନୁହେଁ ଯେ ଖାଲି 4ଟା ଇନଫ୍ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ତିଆରି କରାହେଇଗଲା 2ଟା ରୋଡ ଦିଆହେଇଗଲା ହେଇଯିବ. You must have total system in place to filter out to control things over there, then only you can do it. Tourism ମାନେ ଏହା ନୁହେଁ ଯେ especially wildlife and nature tourism is completely different because you are exploring something ଯୋଉଟା ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର habitat, you are just invading into that habitat. So you people who are going to that place must have a sense of responsibility and sense of respect for the habitat. Then only it is possible. And before opening any place, first thing is that you have to ensure that the people that you are allowing in are responsible and respectful to the habitat. Then only it works. Otherwise, it is very difficult.
Absolutely, sir. And I think the same goes for heritage places also.
Very true.
ଯେତିକି ଫୁଟଫଲ୍ ଆସେ ଟୁରିଜମର ଏବେ ସବୁଠୁ ବ୍ରିଲିଏଣ୍ଟ ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ପଲ୍ ହେଲା ଆପଣ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଭେନିସ୍. Venice as a city, ସେମାନେ finally they have realized and they are like controlling how many people they are going to give those tickets to, ମାନେ ଆସିପାରିବେ to just visit them. ଏମିତି ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ ବି ଗୋଟେ ପୁରୁଣା ହେରିଟେଜ୍ ସାଇଟ୍ ଦେଖିବେ which is 1000 years old 1500 years old ଲୋକମାନେ ଗଲେ ତାକୁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ କି ଛୁଇଁ ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି କି କ'ଣ କରୁଛନ୍ତି that will become all ସେଟା ଆଉ ଯେତିକି ଦିନ ରହିପାରିବା କଥା it's not going to sustain that long. Anyway ସେଟା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ବୋଧେ ଡିସ୍କସନର ପାର୍ଟ ହବା କେବେ.
That even I would love to talk about it. How, sometimes over promotion without having control over things, then things may go wrong. ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବେଳେବେଳେ ମଙ୍ଗଳାଯୋଟରେ ନିଜେ ଗଲେ ବି ଆମକୁ ଦୁଃଖ ଲାଗେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ବର୍ଥଡେ ସେଲିବ୍ରେସନ 4ଟା ବୋଟ ଲଗେଇକି ମଝିରେ ବର୍ଥଡେ ସେଲିବ୍ରେସନ ହଉଛି.
This is really sad. ଏଇଟା ପାଇଁ civic sense ଟା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି civic sense ଟା ଦରକାର.
With loud music.
ଓହୋ ମାନେ ଆଉ କୁହନ୍ତୁନି.
Yes, sir. And some 15 to 13 years back, I had been to ଗୋଟେ ଭୀମକୁଣ୍ଡ ବୋଲି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି waterfall. I think many of you must be knowing. It's the Niagara of Odisha.
Agya.
Mo city the last some 15 years back, when I had 16 years back, I had been to that place. I took some very good photographs. It was a lovely place. ବହୁତ କିଛି restriction ମାନେ ନଥିଲା, accessibility ବେଶୀ ଭଲ ନଥିଲା, ଲୋକ ଯାଉନଥିଲେ। କିନ୍ତୁ some a year back, not even a year back, so in 2024 when I was shooting for Simlipal, ମୁଁ ଆସିଲା ବେଳକୁ ସେପଟେ କ'ଣ ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ଡେ ଟାଇମରେ ଫେରୁଥିଲି, then I thought of let's go there. No, no, I had another assignment. ଗୋଟେ ଥିଲା ସେ କେଉଁଝରର 12ଟା waterfall cover କରିବାର ଥିଲା, so I thought of let's go there and take it. And that was I think December 23 तारीख थिला. Madam, I couldn't find a place to stand and shoot. It was so heavy. Our ସବୁଠି everywhere you have got a ସପ ଯୋଉ mat ପଡିଛି and ବଡ ଯୋଉ boom boxes ଲାଗିଛି. ସବୁ 10 ଫୁଟରେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ବୁମ୍ ବକ୍ସ ଲାଗିଥିବ, 20 ଫୁଟ 25 ଫୁଟରେ। ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ ସେ ମ୍ୟୁଜିକ କିଏ କୋଉ ମ୍ୟୁଜିକଟା ଶୁଣୁଛି, କାହାକୁ ଶୁଣୁଛି, କାହିଁକି ଶୁଣୁଛି।
This is truly sad. ମାନେ
ଜଷ୍ଟ I have those photographs also. କେତେବେଳେ conservation efforts ରେ କୋଉଠି do's and don'ts ବୋଲି ଯଦି କେବେ discuss କରିବା, then I would like to be a part of it.
ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଆଡ୍ କରିଦଉଛି ଆଜ୍ଞା। ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ସୁନୀଲ ଭାଇ ବି ଆମେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ଟକ୍ରେ ଏ ବିଷୟରେ କଥା ହେଇଥିଲେ। ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ଫର୍ ହେରିଟେଜ୍ ସ୍ପଟ୍ସ, ଇକୋ ଟୁରିଜମ୍ ୟା ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ୍ ସ୍ପଟ୍ସ ଅଲସୋ ଇଜ୍ ଇକ୍ୱାଲି ମାନେ ଆପ୍ଲିକେବଲ୍। ସେଟା ହେଲା ଲାଇଟ୍। ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଲାଇଟ୍ସ କି ଲାଇଟ୍ସର ଆରେଞ୍ଜମେଣ୍ଟ କରୁଛେ, ମାନେ ମାନେ ଘରେ ବି କଟେଜ୍ ହଉ କି ବାହାରର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଲ୍ୟାମ୍ପସ୍ ହଉ, ସବୁବେଳେ ଲାଇଟ୍ସର ଗୋଟେ ଆମ୍ବିଏନ୍ସ ଆଉ ଯେଉଁଟା ଉପରକୁ ନ ରହିବ, ମାନେ ଯେଉଁ ତାର ମୋର ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲ ଶବ୍ଦଟା ମନେ ପଡ଼ୁନି, ଶୁଣିବା ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଥିବେ କ'ଣ? ଓଭର ନଥିବ, ମାନେ ଲାଇଟ୍ର ବି ବହୁତ ମାନେ ଅଛି।
Light pollution, light pollution. The topic
ଲାଇଟ୍
is light
ପଲ୍ୟୁସନ୍
pollution.
ଯୋଉଟା ହୁଏ, ଆପଣ ବାହାର ଦେଶମାନଙ୍କରେ ଦେଖିବେ ଦୋଜ୍ ଆର୍ ଅଲ୍ ଭେରି ରେଗୁଲେଟେଡ୍, ରାଇଟ୍? ବାହାରେ ଲାଇଟ୍ ବି ସେ ଅନୁସାରେ, which is not like creating that light environment night ରେ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ନାଇଟ୍ ର ବର୍ଡସ୍ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ କି ଅଲଗା କ୍ରିଏଚର୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ହ୍ୟାମ୍ପର କରିପାରେ।
ସେଇଟା ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ବାହାର ଦେଶରେ ବି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ଲାଇଟ୍ ଶୋଜ୍ ହଉଥିଲା, ବଟ୍ ଦେ ରିୟଲାଇଜ୍ଡ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଦ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଇଟ୍। ହଁ,
ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଲାଇଟ୍ ଶୋଜ୍ କଥା କହୁନି ଆଜ୍ଞା, ମୁଁ
ଇଭେନ୍
ନର୍ମାଲ
ମନ୍ୟୁମେଣ୍ଟସ୍
ଲାଇଟ୍।
ଉପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼ା ଲାଇଟ୍ ଶୋଜ୍ ହଉଥିଲା। ଆଜିକାଲି ସେଗୁଡାକ they have realized that doing those light shows on the monuments and all are not that
ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା କହୁନଥିଲି ଆଜ୍ଞା, ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ନର୍ମାଲ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଇନଫ୍ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ଡେଭଲପ୍ ବି କରାହେଉଛି, ରୋଡ୍ସ ତିଆରି ହେଉଛି ୟା ଯାହା ବି ଘର ଦ୍ୱାରା ତିଆରି ହେଉଛି, ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରିଷ୍ଟିନ୍ ଜାଗାଟାକୁ ଡେଭଲପ୍ କରିବା ନାଁରେ ବି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲାଇଟ୍ସ କରିକା, ମାନେ ରୋଡ୍ ଲାଇଟ୍ ଆଉ କ'ଣ ତାକୁ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଲାଇଟ୍, ଏଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଡେଭଲପ୍ କରାହେଉଛି, ତା ପାଇଁ ବି ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେବାର ଅଛି, ସ୍ପେଶାଲି ଫର୍ ସେନ୍ସିଟିଭ୍ ଏରିଆସ୍।
I got it.
For
Acha.
example,
You
for
mean to say
example,
the urban development and designs ଯୋଉଗୁଡାକ ରହୁଛି ତାର ବି
ଏଇ ଜାଗାମାନଙ୍କରେ ଷ୍ଟାର ଗେଜିଂ ବି କରିହବ, ଯୋଉଟାକ ଧରି ନିଅନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରିଷ୍ଟିନ୍ ମାନେ ଲୋକେସନ୍ସ ଥିବ, ଖାଲି ଥିବ, ଉପର କ୍ଲିୟର ଥିବ, ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ ଧରି ନିଅନ୍ତୁ ଷ୍ଟାର ଗେଜର ବି ଯାଇଛି, ଆଉ ଯାହାର କି ବର୍ଡ ୱାଚିଂ ବି ମାନେ ହବି, ଦିଟା ଯାକ ସେ ଚାହୁଁଛି କରିବାକୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଇଟା ବି ବେଳେବେଳେ ଆଉ ତା ଛଡ଼ା ନାଇଟ୍ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର ବି ଆଫେକ୍ଟ କରିବନି, ମାନେ ଲାଇଟ୍ଟା ନଥିଲେ ଯୋଉଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଡାର୍କରେ ଯେଉଁ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ମାନେ ଅନ୍ଧାରରେ ଯେଉଁମାନେ
nocturnal birds.
ନକ୍ଟର୍ନାଲ, ଆଜ୍ଞା, ନକ୍ଟର୍ନାଲ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ, କ୍ରିଚର୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ବି, ନଟ୍ ଜଷ୍ଟ ବର୍ଡସ୍, ଅଦର କ୍ରିଚର୍ସ, ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ସେଇଟା। ତେଣୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ବି ହେଉଛି, ସେଇଟା ପୁରା ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସିବଲି ସେଇ ଇନଫ୍ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରଟା ଡେଭଲପ୍ କରାହଉ।
No, very true, but unfortunately the sad part is most of the development happen without having a proper consultation to the concerned person. সেটা not है।
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
The consultants not है mostly, even as I am an architect, I can give you a little bit of insight in this. ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ଏମିତି ଆର୍କିଟେକ୍ଟସ୍ କୁ ଇନଭଲ୍ଭ କରାଯାଏ, ଏମିତି ଇଏ କରାଯାଏ ଯୋଉଟା ଲକ୍ଜରିୟସ୍ ବେସ୍ଡ ଜିନିଷଟା କରାଯିବ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଦ ଟ୍ରୁ ସେନ୍ସ ଟାକୁ ସ୍ପଏଲ୍ କରିଦିଏ, ଆଣ୍ଡ ଇଟ୍ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟସ୍ ପିପଲ୍ ହୁ ଆର୍ ନଟ୍ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଇନ୍ ଦ
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
habitat or the species. They just want to go and enjoy over there,
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
for which any place is possible. ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କର ଯଦି luxury and all these things are needed, so they can go to any place and they can enjoy. ସେମିତିଆ facilities create କରା ଦିଆଯିବ, କିନ୍ତୁ it is no point doing it in ଦେଓମାଳି, on the top of ଦେଓମାଳି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
So similarly, it is not very right to do it within Chilka, ବି କରିବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ। Those who are respect that place, they will enjoy that place and any given circumstances. So
ଆଉ
anyway,
ଗୋଟେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସାଇଡ୍ ଇଫେକ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ଆଜିକାଲି ଦେଖୁଛି, ଆପଣ ଏଇଭଳିଆ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାକୁ ଯିବେ ଯାହାର ଗୋଟେ ନିଜର ଗୋଟେ ସଲେମନିଟି ଅଛି, ୟା ଗୋଟେ ସିରିୟସନେସ୍ ଅଛି, ଯୋଉଠି ବି ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, ହେରିଟେଜ ଜାଗା ହଉ, ଇକୋ ଟୁରିଜମ୍, ୟୁ କାଣ୍ଟ ଲୁକ୍ ଏଟ୍ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇନ୍ ପିସ୍। ଜଣେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସାଇଡ୍ରେ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ବ୍ଲଗ ତିଆରି, ମାନେ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ନିଜର
that I
କରୁଥିବ,
will
ରିଲ୍
blame the
କରୁଥିବ।
social media.
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
The reason of not posting anything in social media nowadays for me is that I was bhavantu mo jetele 2003 2007 I started using social media in 98. I had the privilege of internet and everything. So 98 ରୁ ବି ଆମେ ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଥିଲୁ, even before Orkut days, charts and reels ଶିଖୁଥିଲେ। କିନ୍ତୁ 2015 ପରେ I stopped using social media, very limited use। କାହିଁକି? Somehow I found that we are inspiring people who are going there to places just to take a shot. It's like tick the box. They go to that place, they shoot something, they promote it। ଆଉ ମୁଁ ସେଠିକି ଯାଇଥିଲି, some reel ବନେଇଲା କ'ଣ କଲା।
Been there, seen that.
Yes, they have
ମୁଁ
seen
ମୁଁ ମୁଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେଇ ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟ ବି କହୁନି, ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଯିଏ ଯାହା କଲା କଲା।
it।
ଆମ ଭଳିଆ ଲୋକ ଜଣେ ଯଦି ମୋ ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ, ମୁଁ ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ବି ଇନ୍ ୟୋର ଭିଡ଼ିଓ, ଲାଇକ୍ ମୁଁ ସେଠି ଯାଇକି ଗୋଟେ ମୋ ହିସାବରେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ବି ମାନେ ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ଫେସ୍ ଇନ୍ ୟୋର ଟିକଟକ୍ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ଅର୍ ୟୋର ଇନଷ୍ଟାଗ୍ରାମ ରିଲ୍ ଅର୍ ଫେସବୁକ୍ ରିଲ୍ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ। ମୋର କୌଣସି ଇଚ୍ଛା ନାହିଁ। ଆପଣ ଏବେ ମନ୍ଦିର ପାଖକୁ ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, ୟା କୌଣସି ସାଙ୍କ୍ଚୁରୀକୁ ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, everyone is there making reels or like self videos, and which is very, I
It's
don't
very
know, mane,
irritating actually, it's very irritating and very
it's like
disrespectful to the place also। Hmm.
exactly ତ ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ point କଲି।
Rita
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ମୁଁ
madam,
ଏବେ ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ କୁ ଯିବା। ଆଜ୍ଞା, କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
Rita madam, ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ଏଇଠି ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଆଡ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। 1992 ମସିହାରେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରର ଜାଗମରାରୁ ଆମେ ରାତିରେ ନାଇଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟାର ୱାଚିଂ କ୍ୟାମ୍ପ କରୁଥିଲୁ, ଯୋଉଥିରେ ବହୁତ ଫେଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟାର ଆମେ ଦେଖିପାରୁଛୁ। ଆଜିର ତାରିଖରେ ସେଇ ଜାଗମରାରୁ ଆପଣ ଫେଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟାରକୁ ଦେଖିପାରିବେନି, ଅନଲେସ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଭେରି ବ୍ରାଇଟ୍। ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଲାଇଟ୍ ପଲ୍ୟୁସନଟା, ସେଇଟା ବି ଗୋଟେ, ସେଇଟା ସବୁଆଡେ ହେଇଯାଇଛି। ଇଭେନ୍ କୋରାପୁଟ ଜିଲ୍ଲାରେ ବି ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ, ଆପଣ ଦେଓମାଳି ଉପରେ ଅନ୍ଧାର ପାଇବେ।
Say sir, star
ଆଗକୁ ଆମେ
one
ଚେଞ୍ଜ
right?
କରିପାରିବା ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ, ହୋପଫୁଲି। ଆଗ ଏବେ ଏବେ awareness ହେଲେ ସବୁ, ଖାଲି ତ ଲାଇଟ୍ ବଲ୍ବ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିବାର ଅଛି ନା, ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଲାଇଟ୍ସର ୟା ମେନ୍ ବିଲ୍ଡିଂସ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର।
ଏଇଟା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ କ'ଣ ହବ କି ସେଠି when all these things happen, especially in India, ଦେଖିଛି ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରପର କନସଲଟାନ୍ସିରେ 5 ଜଣଙ୍କୁ ଏକାଠି କରିକି ତାଙ୍କର ଓପିନିଅନ ନେଇକି କରାହୁଏନି। It is just that street lights change କରିବାର ଅଛି, some babu will find some design nice। ହଁ, ସେ ଗୋଟେ କୋଉଠି ଦେଖିକି ଆସିଲେ ତ ସେ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟ କରିଦେବେ। It is just a execution of commands। That is how things work। ତ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷରେ କୋଉଠି ଇନଭଲଭମେଣ୍ଟ ନଥାଏ, ଯେ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ହେରିଟେଜ ସାଇଟରେ ମୋର ଲାଇଟିଂ ଲାଗୁଛି, ତାହେଲେ କୋଉ ଟାଇପର ଲାଇଟିଂ ହବ, କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଲାଇଟିଂ ହବ, କେତେ ଲୁମେନ୍ସ ରହିବ, ସେ ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକ ଷ୍ଟଡିଜ ଆଇ ହାର୍ଡଲି ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ ଏନିବଡି ଇଜ ଡୁଇଙ୍ଗ ଓଭର ହିୟର। ହଉ ହିଁ ନାହିଁ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା, ମୁଁ ସେୟା କହୁଥିଲି, awareness ଟା ହୋପଫୁଲି ମାନେ ଆଗକୁ ବଢୁ। ଆମେ ଏବେ ନେକ୍ସଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍
ଆୱାରନେସ୍ ଅପେକ୍ଷା ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ବ୍ଲେମ୍ ଦ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ମ୍ୟାଡ। ସିଷ୍ଟମଟା ହିଁ ଇନ୍ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ନାହିଁ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଜଣେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ବି କରିପାରିବନି, ସେ ସିଷ୍ଟମଟା ହିଁ ଇନ୍ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ନାହିଁ। ଅର୍ବାନ ଡିଜାଇନ କନସେପ୍ଟଟା ହିଁ ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆସିନି, ଯେ ପ୍ରପର ଅର୍ବାନ ଡିଜାଇନ କନସେପ୍ଟରେ ଅର୍ବାନ ବ୍ୟୁଟିଫିକେସନ
None of us are perfect। କୌଣସି ଦେଶ, କୌଣସି ସୋସାଇଟି ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ପରଫେକ୍ଟ। ସମସ୍ତେ ଯୋଉ ଇମ୍ପରଫେକ୍ସନ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ହିଁ ଡିଲ୍
with time it
କରୁଛନ୍ତି।
will develop and with
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା।
time it will change।
ଏବେ ମୁଁ ପ୍ରୀତି ରଞ୍ଜନ ମେକଅପ୍ ସାର୍ଙ୍କର ଭିଡ଼ିଓଟା ମୂଳରୁ ଅନ୍ ଦେଖୁଛି, ଆଉ ଆଦିତ୍ୟ ବାବୁ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଆପଣ ଦିଜଣଙ୍କ ଭିତରୁ କିଏ ବି କିଛି କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି, ପ୍ଲିଜ୍ ଗୋ ହେଡ୍।
ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ସାର୍, ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ବିଷୟରେ କିଛି କହିବେ କି? ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ଆଉ ଦେଖାଯାଉନାହାନ୍ତି, ସମସ୍ତେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ, ଘରଚିଆ, ସେମିତି କେତେ ପେରିସିଂ ସ୍ପେସିସ୍ ସବୁ ଆପଣ ନୋଟ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି, ଆଉ ଫ୍ୟୁଚରରେ ଆଉ କୋଉ ସ୍ପେସିସ୍ ସବୁ ହବାକୁ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ବିଲୁପ୍ତ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା। ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ମାନେ ଆପଣ କୋଉଟାକୁ ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ କହୁଛନ୍ତି? ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣୀ କାଇଟ କୁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି?
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍, ପିଲାବେଳେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିଥିଲୁ ସାର୍, ଯୋଉ ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ଆମେ
ତାର
ଦେଖିଥିଲୁ।
ଉପରଟା
ହଁ
ଧଳା ଥିବ, ତଳଟା ଏଟା ବ୍ରାଉନ ଥିବ, ଏଇଟା ତ ଓକେ ଫାଇନ।
ହଁ
ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲରେ ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବେ, କାହିଁକିନା ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ଓଡିଶାରେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ହୁଏ ଦିଟା କୁ, ବେଳେବେଳେ ଉରୁବଳକୁ ବି ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ କହନ୍ତି ଲୋକ। ଉରୁବଳ ମାନେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଇଏ ହ୍ୱାଇଟ ବେଲିଡ୍ ସି ଇଗଲ। ତ ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ହାବିଟେଟ୍ ରେ ସେମିତି ଦେଖା ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି। ଆପଣ ଗଞ୍ଜାମ ସାଇଡ୍ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବେ ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ନମ୍ବର୍ସ ରେ ପାଇବେ। ଖୋର୍ଦ୍ଧା ୱାନ୍ସ ଆପଣ କ୍ରସ୍ କରିଯିବେ ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ଗେଟ୍ ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ ଦେମ୍ ଇନ୍ ଏ ଗୁଡ୍ ନମ୍ବର। ଟିଲ୍ ଆନ୍ଧ୍ରା ଆପଣ କ୍ରସ୍ କରିଯିବେ ବି ବହୁତ ପାଇବେ। ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ଇଜ ପ୍ରିଟି କମନ୍ ଓଭର ଦେୟାର ସେଇପଟ ହାବିଟେଟ୍ ରେ। ତ ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ଯୋଉଠି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଛୋଟ ମାଛ ପରିମାଣ ବେଶୀ ଥିବ ସେଇପଟେ ସେମାନେ ରହିବେ ସେଇ ହାବିଟେଟ୍। ସୋ ଇଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ସେମାନେ ନମ୍ବର୍ସ ଡିକ୍ଲିନ୍ କରୁଛି ବୋଲି ମୁଁ କହିବିନି। ହଁ ଅଫକୋର୍ସ ସେମାନେ ଆଗରୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ଏପଟେ ଏତେ ଯୋଉ ଆପଣ ଖୋର୍ଦ୍ଧା ଏପଟେ କ୍ରସ୍ କରିଗଲେ ଆପଣ ଆଉ ପାଇବେନି ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଦେର୍ ଇଜ ଏ ଗୁଡ୍ ନମ୍ବର ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଖୋର୍ଦ୍ଧା ଅନୱାର୍ଡସ୍। ଆପଣ ଖୋର୍ଦ୍ଧା କ୍ରସ୍ କରିଗଲା ପରେ ଗଞ୍ଜାମ ଯେମିତି ଏଣ୍ଟର କରିବେ, ଗଞ୍ଜାମରୁ ଆପଣ ଚିଲ୍କାରୁ ଆପଣ ଏଣ୍ଟର କରିକି ପୁରା ଆନ୍ଧ୍ର ଯାଏ ଆପଣ ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ ବି ଆପଣ ଶଙ୍ଖଚିଲ ପାଇବେ, ବହୁତ ପାଇବେ, ଭଲ ସଂଖ୍ୟାରେ ପାଇବେ। ଆଉ ତାର ସେକେଣ୍ଡଲି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଘରଚଟିଆ ଯୋଉଟା ଆପଣ ହାଉସ୍ ସ୍ପାରୋ ଆମେ କହୁଛେ, ହାଉସ୍ ସ୍ପାରୋର ଡିକ୍ଲିନ୍ ତ କରିଛି ବିକଜ ଅଫ ଦ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଥ୍ୟାଚ୍ ରୁଫ୍ସ ନାହିଁ ବୋଲି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ ଏଠି ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ କହିବି, ହାଉସ୍ ସ୍ପାରୋ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଆୱାର ନେଟିଭ ସ୍ପିସିସ୍। ସେଟା ବ୍ରିଟିଶର୍ସ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସ କରିଥିଲେ, ଯୋଉଟାକି ନମ୍ବରଟା ମାନେ ଏଠି ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସ କଲା ପରେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ତା ନମ୍ବର୍ସଟା ଓଭରଗ୍ରୋ କରିଗଲା। ବଟ୍ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ପଢିବେ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରିବେ ଟିକେ, ହାଉସ୍ ସ୍ପାରୋ ୱାଜ ନେଭର ଏ ନେଟିଭ ସ୍ପିସିସ୍। ତ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ନଟ୍ ଭେରି କନସର୍ନ अबाउट हाउस स्पैरोज कंजर्वेशन, बट ठीक अच्छी गोटे स्पीसीज अच्छी। तो तापाई आपणकर ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ ଦେଖିଛି ହାଉସ୍ ସ୍ପାରୋ ଏବେ ବି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଭିଲେଜ ଏରିଆସ୍ ଯେତେ ଏରିଆସ୍ ଟ୍ରାଭେଲ କରୁଛି, ଆପଣ ନବରଙ୍ଗପୁର ହେଇଯାଉ, ଗଞ୍ଜାମ ହେଇଯାଉ, ଏପଟେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କେନ୍ଦୁଝର ମୟୂରଭଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଯାଉ, ଏପଟେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଭିଲେଜକୁ ଗଲେ ଯୋଉଠି ଥ୍ୟାଚ୍ ରୁଫ୍ ଅଛି ସେଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଇଭେନ୍ ଆପଣ କେନ୍ଦ୍ରାପଡ଼ା
କାଲକାଟାରେ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଆମେ
କୋଲକାତାରେ ବହୁତ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଯୋଉଠି ସାର୍
କଲିକତାରେ ଆମେ
ଗ୍ରେନ୍ସ
ଦେଖିଥିଲେ ନା।
ମିଳିବ ଦେ ୱିଲ୍ ଷ୍ଟେ। ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆପଣ ହାଉଡା ଷ୍ଟେସନ ଭିତରେ ହିଁ ଆପଣ ପାଇବେ
ନା
କାଲକାଟା।
ହାଇଦ୍ରାବାଦ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଘରଚଟିଆ, ବହୁତ ଘରଚଟିଆ ଦେଖିଛି ହାଇଦ୍ରାବାଦରେ।
ଯୋଉଠି ଆପଣ ଗ୍ରେନ୍ସ ପାଇବେ ସେଠି ଘରଚଟିଆ ରହିଯିବେ। ଦେ ଆର୍ ଭେରି ଆଡାପ୍ଟେବଲ। ଆମେ ବି ହଉଛି ସ୍ପାରୋ କନଜରଭେସନରେ ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ଅଲମୋଷ୍ଟ 3-4 ଇୟର୍ସ ଆମେ କାମ କରିଛୁ।
ମାନେ କଲମ୍ବିଆନ ଏକ୍ସଚେଞ୍ଜ ଭଳିଆ ବ୍ରିଟିଶ ମାନେ ସେଟା ଆଣିଥିଲେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆକୁ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେଇ ଯୋଉଦିନ ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା ପଢିଲି ତାପରଠୁ ମୁଁ ଆଉ ସ୍ପାରୋ କନଜରଭେସନ ଏତେ କରିନି।
କଲମ୍ବିଆନ ଏକ୍ସଚେଞ୍ଜ।
Yes, sir.
ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ସାର୍। ଆଦିତ୍ୟ ବାବୁ ଆପଣ କିଛି ପଚାରିବେ କି କିଛି କହିବେ?
yes yes sir, first of all ମୁଁ କହିଦିଏ actually ମୁଁ ABIT ରୁ pass out student.
Oh my God, so nice. I'm
Thank you.
also the same. Please, I'm from
Yes.
PMC.
sir ମୋ actually ମୋର ଦିଟା question ଥିଲା। first ଥିଲା obviously ଆପଣଙ୍କର gear ବିଷୟରେ which you have already answered. ତ second actually ଗୋଟେ question ମୋର ବହୁତ ଦିନର actually ମନରେ ଥିଲା। So in cities actually we don't see any birds anymore, we hardly see birds like in Kata ମାନେ କି ମୋର ମନେ ଅଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ 10-15 years ago we used to see a lot of birds. So maybe I think because of like over construction or something that is going down, and how dangerous is this situation? ଆଉ ଏଥିରେ ମାନେ କଣ problems ଆସିପାରେ ମାନେ on a large scale level ଯଦି ଏମିତି maybe 100 cities ରେ ଯଦି ହେଇଗଲା,
Hmm.
so what will be the large scale problems?
See, the idea is city re birds apana jouthi of course there is a problem with concrete jungles. ସେଥିପାଇଁ ହଉଛି, but then ତାକୁ balance out କରିବାକୁ there are parks, there are different other places ବି ବନା ହଉଛି ଯୋଉଠି ଆପଣ birds ପାଇବେ। ସେମିତି ନାହିଁ ଯେ birds cities ଭିତରେ ନାହାନ୍ତି। I have a very big presentation on backyard birding. ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ଆମେ ଖାଲି ସିଟି ଭିତର ବର୍ଡସ୍ ହିଁ ନେଇକି ଆମେ ୱାର୍କଆଉଟ୍ କରୁ। एंड सिटी भितर मोस्टली यू विल फाइंड जंगल बर्ड्स। अच्छा, जंगल बर्ड्स रे कौन प्रॉब्लम होची एठी आपनकर सिटी रे बहुत गोटे बर्ड रो बिहेवियर चेंज होची। बिहेवियर चेंज होची माने आपण देखबे कजळपाती ड्रोंगो, ता इंग्लिश नाटा ला ड्रोंगो, ब्लैक ड्रोंगो। कजळपातीटा एक्चुअली डायर्नल नॉट नॉक्टर्नल नथिला केबे भी। से डायर्नल दिन से हंट करिवो छोट छोट इनसेक्ट्स पोको इमानकु खाइबो। एबे आपण देखिबे मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इन सिटीज you will find Kajulapati hunting in on street lights ପାଖରେ ବସିଛି, wires ଉପରେ ବସିଛି and insects ଖାଉଛି, hunt କରୁଛି ରାତିରେ, mostly street light ଜଳୁଛି, ତାକୁ easy food ମିଳୁଛି ସେଠି. So that is why there you will find them over there. Similarly, I have seen baya weavers, ମାନେ ଆପଣ ବାୟା ଚଢେଇ ଯୋଉଟା, ବାୟା ଚଢେଇଙ୍କର ବସା ଗୁଡାକ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ୟୁଜୁଆଲି ନଡିଆ ଗଛ ପଡିଆ ଗଛରେ କରାହୁଏ, ନଡିଆ ଗଛରେ ହେଇଥିବ, ପାମ୍ ଟ୍ରିଜ ରେ ମୋଷ୍ଟଲି ହୁଏ, ଅନ୍ୟ ବଡ ଗଛରେ ସେମାନେ ଯୋଉଠି କ୍ୟାନୋପି ହାଇ କ୍ୟାନୋପି ଟ୍ରିଜ ଥିବ କରନ୍ତି. Interestingly, I have observed that many of the baya weavers ସେମାନେ ହାଇ ଟେନସନ ଲାଇନ ରେ ଯୋଉଠି ଆପଣଙ୍କର 11 କେଭି ଅଛି କି 33 କେଭି ଅଛି ତା ଦେହରେ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ନେଷ୍ଟିଂ କରୁଛନ୍ତି. ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ ବାୟା ବସା ବଢିଯିବ, ସ୍ପେଶାଲି ୱେନ୍ ଆପଣ ଇଜିଲି ପାଇବେ ଯଦି ଗଞ୍ଜାମ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି କି ଆପଣ towards ଏପଟେ ନୟାଗଡ଼ ସାଇଡରେ ଆପଣ you are going towards କଣ ସେଟା ନାଁଟା ଭୁଲି ଯାଉଛି, ନୟାଗଡ଼ ରୁଟରେ ବି ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ ପାଇଯିବେ, ସେପଟେ ବି ଆପଣ ସେମିତି ହାଇ ଟେନସନ ଲାଇନ ଗୁଡାକରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବାୟୋଭର୍ସର ନେଷ୍ଟିଂ ଥିବ. So these are all behavioral changes. Some birds are able to adapt to the conditions, ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ମାନେ କଂକ୍ରିଟ ଜଙ୍ଗଲକୁ ଆକ୍ସେପ୍ଟ କରିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆଉ କେତେ ଗୋଟେ ବର୍ଡ କରିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି. ନାଉ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ତ ହବ, କଂକ୍ରିଟ ଜଙ୍ଗଲ୍ସ ତ ହବ ହିଁ, ୟୁ କାଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟପ୍ ଇଟ୍, ବଟ୍ ତା ପାଇଁ ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଇୟର ମାର୍କିଂ କରାଏ, ଆପଣ କେତେ ଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ମାସ୍ ଗ୍ରୀନ୍ ରଖିବେ. ତ ସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରାଲି ଯେମିତି ଆପଣ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଯଦି ନେବେ, ୟୁ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ଭେରି ଗୁଡ୍ ପାର୍କସ୍, ଆପଣ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ ପାର୍କ ଆସିଗଲା, ଆଇଜି ପାର୍କ ଆସିଲା ଆପଣଙ୍କର, ଦେନ୍ ୟୁ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ଜୟଦେବ ବାଟିକା ଆସିଲା. If you go to these places, you will find amazing bird habitat. All these 3-4 places that you have in Bhubaneswar, they are amazing bird places. Dhauligiri foothills, another amazing bird places. ଆପଣ ଯଦି jungle bird search କରିବେ ଏଠି ବଢିଆ ପାଇବେ. ଆପଣ concrete jungle ଭିତରେ you will find those who have adapted this particular habitat. They are within the cities ଆପଣ ପାଇଯିବେ. କିନ୍ତୁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ପେରିଫେରରେ ଆପଣ ପାଇବେ ଯୋଉଠି ବର୍ଡ ପକେଟ୍ସ ବି ଅଛି ନା, ସକାଳୁ ଯଦି ଯିବେ ଆଇ ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ ଏ ଗୁଡ୍ ନମ୍ବର ଓଭର ଦେୟାର. ଇଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ସେମିତି କମି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ ସେ ଗ୍ରୀନ୍ ପକେଟ୍ସ ନ ରଖିବା ଦେନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଏ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ, ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ଇଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଏ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ.
ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ସାର୍ ଆଦିତ୍ୟ, ବହୁତ ବଢ଼ିଆ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଥିଲା. ମୋ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ଟା ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ର ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ମିଶୁଛି, ତେଣୁ ବିଫୋର୍ ସଞ୍ଜୟ ଭାଇ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ପଚାରିଦେବି, ତାପରେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ଓଭର କରିଦେବି, ଅନୁମତି ଅଛି? ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି, ତାହେଲେ ମୁଁ ମୋ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ଟି ପଚାରୁଛି ଯେଉଁଟା ଆଦିତ୍ୟଙ୍କ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ମେଳ ଖାଉଛି. ମୋ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଥିଲା, ଅଗେନ୍ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଆଗରୁ କହୁଥିଲି ମୋର ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ହେଲା ଆମର ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ପୁରୁଣା ମେରିଟାଇମ୍ ହେରିଟେଜ୍ ଆଉ ଏସବୁ ବିଷୟରେ ଟିକେ ମାନେ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ତା ବିଷୟରେ. ତ ଏମିତି ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର ଆକାଉଣ୍ଟସ୍ ପଢ଼ିବାରେ ମୁଁ ମାନେ ଆଇ ଲାଇକ୍ ଟୁ ରିଡ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍, ଲାଇକ୍ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର ଆଇ ମିନ୍ like what the Javanese have written about us, what the Chinese have written about us, what like Cambodian, ସେଇଟା ପଢ଼ିଲେ it gives us even more insight about ourselves because
Then
ଆମ
you get the
ନିଜରେ
true picture of the whole thing.
ଆଜ୍ଞା, ଆଉ ଆମ ନିଜ ବିଷୟରେ ଆମର ବେଶୀ ନାହିଁ ବି, ଆମ
We
ଲୋକମାନେ
have never documented. We are the bad documented, bad ambassadors of ourselves. I always call
I think it was our
that.
philosophy of life ଆଜ୍ଞା, ଆମର simple living high thinking ଥିଲା,
Hmm.
and people never like ନିଜ ବିଷୟରେ କିଛି promote ହିଁ କରୁନଥିଲେ, they just showed it on the sculpture of the wall, ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କର maritime tradeରେ ମାନେ ମାନେ they did it in action. ସେମାନେ କେବେ ନିଜ ବିଷୟରେ କିଛି ଲେଖିକି ରଖିନାହାନ୍ତି କି ଆମେ ଏଇଟା ଏମିତି କଲୁ, and because it was getting transferred from generation to generation, I think they didn't even realize that ଆଗକୁ ଯାଇକି ଏ ବିଷୟରେ କେହି ଜାଣିବେନି, ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଟାଇମ୍ ଆସିଲା ତାପରେ ସବୁ ହଜିଗଲା, ବିକଜ
ସେଥିରେ
ସେଇ
କଣ ଥିଲା କି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ, ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ତ ଠିକ ଥିଲା, ଇଟ୍ ୱାଜ ଗୁଡ୍ ଓନଲି, ବଟ୍ ତାର ଗୋଟେ ରେପୁଟେସନ ହେଇଗଲା କଣ, ଦ ୟଙ୍ଗ ଜେନେରେସନ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଆପ୍ରିସିଏଟିଂ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁଇଂ ଦ ହୋଲ ଥିଙ୍ଗ ନା. ସେଟା
ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ
ଡକ୍ୟୁମେଣ୍ଟେସନ ଆମେ
କହୁଛି
କଣ
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
ହେଇଯାଉଛି, ଆମେ ପଛରୁ ପଢି ପଢି ଆସୁଛେ ଯେ ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ ଯାହା ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ତା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମ ଜିଷ୍ଟ ଆମେ ବାହାର କରୁଛେ. ତ ଆମକୁ ମେ ବି ସେଟା ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ, ଆଇ ଉଡ୍ କନସିଡର ଇଟ୍ ଆଜ ଏ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ମିଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ୱି ଡିଡ୍. ସମ୍
ନାଇଁ
ଅଫ୍
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି, ସେଇଟାର
ଡକ୍ୟୁମେଣ୍ଟେସନ.
ଯୋଉ କଟ୍ ହେଇଗଲା, ୱି ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଅଲ୍ ହ୍ୟାପନ୍, ବଟ୍ ଏନିୱେ ସେଇଟା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଅଗେନ୍ ଟପିକ୍. ମୋ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ ଥିଲା, when I was reading about us, about accounts about Kalinga and other places of Eastern Coast,
Hmm.
I was very surprised to find a mention about sari.
Hmm.
And sari as a bird, ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ପୁରା it was a distinct ମାନେ mention କି ଗୋଟେ traveler account, ଗୋଟେ ancient Chinese traveler account, ସେଟାର English translation ରେ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ। ସେଥିରେ mention ହେଇଛି କି ସେଇ ଜାଗାର ଲୋକମାନେ ଗୋଟେ sari bird ରଖନ୍ତି and it talks like human beings।
Hmm. Hmm.
ଆପଣ ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ସାରି ପକ୍ଷୀ, ସାରି ଶବ୍ଦଟା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଡିଷ୍ଟିଙ୍କ୍ଟ।
Hmm.
କାହିଁକି ନା ସାରିକା କି ଅନ୍ୟ ହିସାବରେ ଆପଣ ସଂସ୍କୃତରେ ସାରିକା ବୋଲି ପାଇବେ କି ଅନ୍ୟ ଜାଗାରେ ଭାରତର ତାକୁ ଅନ୍ୟ ହିସାବରେ କହୁଥିବେ, ବଟ୍ ସାରି ଆଜ୍ ଅ ୱାର୍ଡ ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ଓଡ଼ିଆ।
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ଯଦି ଆଜି ଯଦି ଜଣେ କହିବ କି ଏଇଟା ସାରିଟା ଯଦି ଓଡ଼ିଆ, ସୁକ ସାରି ମନ୍ଦିର ବି ଅଛି ଆମର।
Uh-huh. Hmm.
ସାରି ଗୋଟେ ଖୋଜିଲେ ଆଜିକା ଡେଟ୍ରେ ମିଳିବନି, ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟା ବ୍ୟାକ୍ୟାର୍ଡ ବାର୍ଡସ୍ କଥା ଆପଣ କହିଲେ, ୟା ଯୋଉଟା ଆଗରୁ ଡୋମେଷ୍ଟିକେଟେଡ୍ ବି କରୁଥିଲେ।
Hmm.
ଆମେ ଆମେ ଆମର ଛୋଟବେଳେ, ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଲେଟ୍ 80s 90s ବେଳେ ବି ସାରି ଶୁଆସାରି ଜାଣିଥିଲୁ,
Hmm.
କିନ୍ତୁ ଏବେର ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ହାର୍ଡଲି ଏନିବଡି ଉଡ୍ ନୋ। ଯଦି ଜଣେ ନୂଆ ରିସର୍ଚର ବି ଜଣେ ପଢ଼ିବ ଆଣ୍ଡ କୋରିଲେଟ୍ କରିବାକୁ ବି ଚାହିଁବ କି ଓକେ ଆମର ବି ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ସାରି ଅଛି,
Hmm.
then able they wouldn't be able to correlate that anymore because they have no knowledge of it,
Hmm.
जोटा कि अल्प डेकेड आगु पर्यंत भी it was very common। तो से जो जिनसरे मु कहूची जे फॉर एग्जांपल जो कॉमन बर्ड्स जो हमर थिला ता रिलेटेड किछि गोटे प्रोजेक्ट हुंता, जोटा कि एबे ऑफ कोर्स जोटा कम माने अछंती बट बहुत रेयर संख्या रे अछंती। सम बर्ड्स व्हिच वर लाइक वेरी जोटा ओडिशार निजर आइडेंटिटी सांगे आम डामरकाऊ विषय गप अच्छी, सुहासारींकर गप अच्छी कि यही सब जो आम कथा गुड़ाक जो आमर लोक कहानी जो सब पशुपक्षींकर मेंशन थाए एंड से जिनस गुड़ाकर जो बर्ड कंटेम्पररी बर्ड्स सेटा एक्चुअली अच्छंती कि ना, जदि अच्छंती तार गोटे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कि समथिंग जोटा कि इजीली एक्सेसिबल हो पारिबो लोक मानक पई फोटोग्राफ सहित। एंड एबे धरि नियंतु को जगार से माने आपण को रीजन सब रीजन रे सब जिनस मिलुनी।
Hmm.
तो
Hmm.
जस्ट खाली गोटे पीपल हु आर मोर इनटू रिसर्च टाइप ऑफ थिंग, प्रथमतः अवेयरनेस हम, तापर द्वितीयतः आपण जेमती माइग्रेटरी बर्ड्स रिसर्च पय आपणकर आउल तरफ रु करूछंती, सेमती आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट एई भळा जदि आपण किछि करन्ते, तेणु मे बी आमर पास्ट को बुझिबारे भी आगो को जाय कि लोकंकर इजी हुआंता व्हेन देयर आर इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी स्टडीज, सेते बेलको इजी हुआंता। लाइक वी कैन से कि हाँ आमर भी एटा अछि एंड एटा बहुत वेरी वेरी टिपिकली ओडिया या आमर एटा रीजनल जिंस। And I have faced this while speaking to researchers from other foreign universities when I try to tell them, okay, देखो आज्ञा आमर ओडिशा रे written history बेसी नहीं, but we folk is very very significant in understanding our part of history, but से मैंने कभी हमको tangible proof देखा। मते तो question भी कले बालीयात्रा विषय गोटे बहुत एमिनेंट रिसर्चर फ्रांस रो, से मते कहले बालीयात्रा is a very new concept. I have spoken to people of Odisha itself and they say it was revived in the 90s, so it is nothing traditional। ମୁଁ କହିଲି ନାଇଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା, ବାଲିଯାତ୍ରା is a revived concept like as a fair or festival, but ବୋଇତ ବନ୍ଦାଣ and ଡଙ୍ଗା ଭସା has been there for us for forever।
Hmm.
So how are we going to counteract questions from international researchers जार की बेसी voice वर्तमान सेमानंकर, they have more voice about us than we have about ourselves। we don't like steer the narrative here, आम निज narrative अन्य मानक द्वारा steer हुए। तेणु we should have something like tangible and like solid, जो थे कि आगो को जाए कि future younger researchers माने they would have something to fall back on। So that was my question and my opinion। Thank you।
Hmm. Now, I will divide it into two parts. Your basic question is about saris. Sari जोटा आपण कहउचंती, एक्चुअल सारी जोटा कथा कहे ता ना हला हिल मैना। Hill maina is basically, as you know, the word hill. Hill is attached to that maina. एमती आपण मैना, there are three four types of mainas. One is आपणकर common मैना, जोटा आपण बणी जोटा
Bonnie,
common, that is common maina. Then you have pied maina, ସେଇ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ତା ନା ବଣି କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଟିକେ ଧଳା ବି ଥିବ କଳା ବି ଥିବ ପାଇଡ ମଇନା। ଦେନ୍ ୟୁ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ହଉଛି ବ୍ୟାଙ୍କସ୍ ମଇନା। ତାପରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆସିଲା କ୍ରେଷ୍ଟେଡ ମଇନା, ସରି ବ୍ୟାଙ୍କସ୍ ମଇନା ଆଣ୍ଡ ଇଏ ମଇନା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ମଇନା। ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ମଇନା ଗୋଟେ କ୍ରେଷ୍ଟ ଥିବ। So then other than all these minas, then you have one mina that is hill mina, जोटा कि सारी कହୁଛନ୍ତି। सारीटा ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆମ ହାବିଟେଟ୍ ଯୋଉଠି ଅଛେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଗୋଟେ ଟାଇମରେ ହିଲ୍ସ ଥିଲା ତ ଏଠି ଏପଟ ସାଇଡରେ ହୁଏତ ଦେଖା ଯାଉଥିଲା। ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ନଟ୍ ସିନ୍ ଦ ଲିଷ୍ଟ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର କେତେ କରୁଥିଲା ବଟ୍ ଏବେ ବି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସାରି ସାତକୋଶିଆରେ ପାଇବେ ଆଉ ଶିମିଳିପାଲରେ ପାଇବେ। ମୟୂରଭଞ୍ଜ ସାଇଡରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପାଇବେ ସାରି ଅଛନ୍ତି ଅଲରେଡି। ତ ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ। ସେକେଣ୍ଡଲି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସୁନୀଲ ସାର୍ ବି ଗୋଟେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ୱାର୍କସପର ଗୋଟେ କହିଥିଲେ vernial hanging parakeet. Now that is not vernial hanging parakeet, it is vernial hanging parrot, the actual name is. Now ଆପଣ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଶୁଆ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଦେଖୁଛେ ଆମେ ସେଟାକୁ ଇଂଲିଶରେ କଣ ଡାକୁଛେ? ଶୁଆ ମାନେ କଣ ଯୋଉଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଡେଣାରେ ବଡ ଥିବ ଗ୍ରୀନ କଲରର ଡେଣାରେ ପ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଥିବ ରେଡର, ରାଇଟ୍?
Usually
ସେଇଟାକୁ
parrot kuhandi, but that is a parakeet, right?
actually they are all parakeets. One is Alexandrian parakeet, one is rose ring parakeet. We have two types of parakeets. These are all parakeets. They are not parrots. Only one variety of parrot is available in this part of the country is vernial hanging parrot. That are good chotiya bird. Parrots are always small. So Sua au sari, especially Alexandrian parakeet. Rose ring parakeet टा एते भलो कथा कहनी। Alexandrian parakeet टा बेसी इमिटेट करे, कथा तो कहनी इमिटेट करे बेसिकली। इवन सारी also does the same. ଏମାନଙ୍କର କେବଳ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଘରେ ରଖିବା ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉ ଯେତେବେଳେ କୋଚିଂ ହେଲା ହଣ୍ଟିଂ ହେଲା ଏତେ ମ୍ୟାସିଭ ହେଲା ଯେ ତାଙ୍କର ଆଉ ଗ୍ରୋ କରିବାର ଇଏ ବି ଏବେ ବି ଆଜିକା ଡେଟରେ ବି ଆପଣ ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ ପିପଲ ଆର୍ ସେଲିଂ ଆଲେକ୍ସାଣ୍ଡ୍ରିଆନ ପାରାକେଟ୍। ଆଜି ବି ଆପଣ ପିପଲି ପଟେ ଯିବେ କି ଆପଣ କଟକରେ ଟୁୱାର୍ଡସ୍ ଯାଜପୁର ରୋଡରେ ଯିବେ ଛକ ଛକରେ ଲୋକ ଠିଆ ହେଇଥିବେ ଧରିକି।
ବ୍ରିଡିଂଟା ହେଇପାରୁନି,
ସାର୍
ବ୍ରିଡିଂଟା ହେଇପାରୁନି, ଆଉ
ହଁ
ବଂଶବୃଦ୍ଧିଟା ହେଇପାରୁନି।
ହଁ ସେ ଜିନିଷଟା କଣ ହଉଛି ଏବେ ତାକୁ ତା ଏଗେନଷ୍ଟରେ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ ଇଭେନ୍ ବର୍ଡସ ଅଫ ଓଡିଶା ହାଜ ଡନ୍ ବର୍ଡସ ଅଫ ଓଡିଶା ଆଉଲ ଇଭେନ୍ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ବର୍ଡ ୱାର୍କ ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ ତାପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କଣ ସେଟା ଏମିତି ଦିଟା ତିନିଟା ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ତା ପଛରେ ବହୁତ କାମ କରିଛନ୍ତି ବି। ଆମେ ତ ବହୁତ ଇଭେନ୍ ଫାଇଟ୍ କରିକି ଆମେ ବହୁତ ଦୂର ଯାଇ ଯାଇଛୁ। ବହୁତ ଗଣ୍ଡଗୋଳ ବି ହେଇଛି ଏଥିପାଇଁ। ପିପଲିରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେଟା ବିକ୍ରି ହଉଥିଲା ବହୁତ ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟ କରିବାକୁ ବହୁତ କଷ୍ଟ ହେଇଥିଲା।
କୋରାପୁଟର ରାମଗିରି ଅଞ୍ଚଳ, ଗୁପ୍ତେଶ୍ୱର ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ବି ମିଳୁଛନ୍ତି।
ଗୁପ୍ତେଶ୍ୱର ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ମିଳିବ। ସେଠି ସେଠି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ପିସିସକୁ ବିକନ୍ତି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ଲମ୍ ହେଡ୍ ପ୍ୟାରାକିଟ୍, ମୁଣ୍ଡଟା ଲାଲ ଥିବ, ରୋଜ ରିଙ୍ଗ ପ୍ୟାରାକିଟ୍ ହଉଛି ଯେ ସେମାନେ ନା କଥା କହିପାରନ୍ତି ନା କିଛି କରିପାରନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ମାନେ ଇମିଟେଟ୍ କରିପାରନ୍ତିନି କିନ୍ତୁ ଲୋକ ସେଟାକୁ ଧରିକି ବିକି ଦିଅନ୍ତି। ସୋ ଗୋଟେ ସେ କଲଚର ଆସିଯାଇଥିଲା ଆମର ଟ୍ରେଡିସନରେ ଯେ ଆମେ ଛୁଆକୁ ଆଣି ଘରେ ରଖିବା, ସାରି ରଖିବା ଯେହେତୁ ଇମିଟେଟ୍ କରିପାରୁଛୁ। ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ପାଇଁ ହିଁ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ତାର ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ ଡିକ୍ଲିନେସନ ଆସିଲା। ବଟ୍ ଫର୍ଚୁନେଟଲି ଏବେ ସେ ସଂଖ୍ୟାଟା ବହୁତ କମି ଯାଇଛି। ଆପଣ ଆଉ ରାମ୍ପେଣ୍ଟ ସେମିତି ଦେଖିବେନି ଯେ ପିପଲି ପାଖରେ କି ଇଏରେ ବିକ୍ରି ହଉଛି। ଗୁପ୍ତେଶ୍ୱର ପଟେ ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ, ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ନଟ୍ ସିନ୍। ସେଇ ଇଏ ଫେଷ୍ଟିଭାଲ ବେଳକୁ ବେଶୀ ବିକ୍ରି ହୁଏ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଶିବରାତ୍ରି ବେଳକୁ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏପଟେ ପିପଲି ହଉ ବା ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ହଉ ସେ ପବ୍ଲିକ ଆୱାରନେସ୍ ବି ଆସିଯାଇଛି, ବହୁତ ସିଜ୍ କରାହେଇଛି। ଆମ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନରୁ ଆମେ ବହୁତ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ୍ସ ଟୁ ସ୍ନେକ୍ ହେଲ୍ପଲାଇନ୍ ଶୁଭେନ୍ଦୁ ମଲ୍ଲିକ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ ଆମେ ଯାଇ ତାକୁ ସିଜ୍ କରିଛୁ। ଲୋକଙ୍କ ଘରୁ ବଡ ବଡ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ଘରୁ ସିଜ୍ କରିକି ଆଣିଛୁ, ହ୍ୱିଚ୍ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଆଉ ତାକୁ ପବ୍ଲିସାଇଜ ବି କରିଛୁ ମିଡିଆରେ। ଏତେ ଆୱାରନେସ୍ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କରାଯାଇଛି, ସାରି ବି ଧରା ହେଇଛି, ଇଏ ବି ସିଜ୍ କରିକି ଆଣିଛୁ, ବଡ ବଡ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ଘରୁ ଅଣାଇଛି। ଯୋଉଟା ଆମର ମାନେ ନଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଏମିତି କୋଉ ଇଏ କର ୱେଲ୍ ଏଜୁକେଟେଡ୍ ପିପଲ୍ ହୁ ଆର୍ ଆୱେର୍ ଆବାଉଟ୍ ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ୍ କନଜରଭେସନ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଲସ୍ ତାଙ୍କ ଘରେ ବି ଥିଲା। ଆଣିକି ଆମେ ନନ୍ଦନକାନନରେ ତା ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ସେଲ୍ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା, ସେଠି ଛାଡୁଥିଲୁ। ଆଚ୍ଛା ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ କଣ କି ଏସବୁ ଇନିସିଏସନ ନିଆ ବି ହେଇଛି ଆଉ ନବା ବି ଉଚିତ। ନଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁଏସନ ଏଫର୍ଟ ରହିବା ଦରକାର। ତ ଆମେ କରୁଛୁ ବି, ଯେତିକି ପାରୁଛୁ ଆମେ କରିପାରୁଛୁ ସେତିକି କରୁଛୁ। ବଟ୍ ଆୱାର ଆଜ୍ ଆଇ ସେଡ୍ OWL is just about my particular organization, that what I have. It is basically for the ଆମେ ଏବେ ଯେହେତୁ members ବହୁତ କମ୍ ଆଉ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ to be very honest when ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆମର ବହୁତ ଗୋଟେ strict laws ଅଛି ଲାଇକ୍ ଆଉଲ ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉ ମେମ୍ବର ମାନେ କାମ କରିବେ ସେମାନେ ସୋସିଆଲ ମିଡିଆରେ କୌଣସି ପୋଷ୍ଟ କରିପାରିବେନି କୌଣସି କନଜରଭେସନ ଏଫର୍ଟର ସେମାନେ ଆର୍ଟିକଲ୍ସ ଲେଖିପାରିବେନି କୋଉଠି ବାହାରେ ଦେଇପାରିବେନି କି ନିଜକୁ କୋଉଠି ପବ୍ଲିସାଇଜ କରିପାରିବେନି ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆସିଗଲା ଆମର ମେମ୍ବର ସଂଖ୍ୟାଟା 120ରୁ 15 ହେଇଗଲା କାହିଁକିନା very hardly you will find people who are really interested in conservation. 95% of the people who are associated with us were for photography and
conversation
बस ହେଲା କନଜରଭେସନ ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ କେହି ଆସୁନଥିଲେ ଆଉ କନଭରସେସନ ପାଇଁ ବେଶୀ ଲୋକ ଥିଲେ ହେଲା when we restricted that କୌଣସି ଏଫର୍ଟ ବାହାରେ ଯିବନି ଲିକ୍ ହବନି we will only do it for academic purpose ସେ ଜାଗାରେ କ'ଣ ହେଲା ଆମର ମେମ୍ବର ସଂଖ୍ୟା ଯେହେତୁ କମିଗଲେ ଆମେ ଏକା କେତେ କାମ କରିବୁ ତ ହେଇପାରିବନି ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ ମାସ୍ ମେମ୍ବରସିପ ଦରକାର ଥାଏ ବହୁତ କାମ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ଆଉ ଯିଏ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କନଜରଭେସନ କରୁଛି ଫେସବୁକରେ ପକେଇବାକୁ କନଜରଭେସନ କରୁଛି ତାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ରହିବେ ଆମେ ତ ବନ୍ଦ ହିଁ କରିଦେଲୁ କି କୌଣସି ଫେସବୁକରେ ପଡ଼ିବନି କି କିଛି ହେଇପାରିବନି ତ ଯାହା ହବ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଓନ୍ଲି ଫର ଦ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଆଣ୍ଡ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ପେପର୍ସ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ଅଲ୍ ତା ପରଠୁ ଆମେ ଟିକେ କେବଳ ଏକାଡେମିକ୍ସରେ ହିଁ କନସେନ୍ଟ୍ରେଟ୍ କରୁଛୁ ନଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଏ କରୁନୁ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼େ ଜାଗାରେ ଯୋଉ ଏନଜିଓସ୍ ମାନେ କିଏ କାମ କରୁଛି କିଏ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ୍ କରୁଛି ବି पर्सनाली आमे ମୁଁ ଫଣ୍ଡ କରେ କୋଉଠି ମୋର ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯେମିତି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବେଳେବେଳେ ଯୋଉ ୱାର୍କସପ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ହୁଏ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଏଭର ଆଇ ଅର୍ନ ଆଇ ସ୍ପେଣ୍ଡ ଦେମ୍ ଧର ଯୋଉ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ପୋଲିସ ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଡାକିଲା କି ଇଏ ଡାକିଲା ଅନ୍ ଦ ଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ୱାର୍କ ଆଇ ଡୋନେଟ୍ ଦ ହୋଲ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗ ସେମିତିଆରେ କିଛି ଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଲେଭେଲରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଜିରୋରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କଲେ ହେଇପାରିବ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ପାଇଁ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଗ୍ରାସ ରୁଟ୍ ଲେଭେଲରେ କାମ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ଦେନ୍ ଓନ୍ଲି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ପସିବଲ୍ ଅଦରୱାଇଜ୍ ଇଟ୍ସ ଭେରି ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଗ୍ରାସ ରୁଟ୍ ଲେଭେଲରେ କାମ କରିବାକୁ ହେଲେ ୟୁ ନିଡ୍ ମ୍ୟାନ୍ ପାୱାର एंड अवेयरनेसटा क्रिएट हवा दरकार भुवनेश्वर एटलिस्ट भल अवेयरनेस आम से क्रिएट करूँ कहीं आम जो सीज कलु से गुड़ाक सब फोटो बाहर कलु मीडिया बाहर कलु सो जो मान पाखे लोक पाखे बहुत लोक बड़ बड़ लोक पाखे थिला से सो मोटो आसी घर भी ठिया आमको दे जाइए रखिदेव आम रखू
Thank you, sir, for this. Like conservation, माने आज का डेट रे why it is more important is माने धरि नियंतु जो समय रे हमर मंदिर गात्ररे सबु आमे स्कल्पचर देखुचे या लेखारे भी पढ़ुचे सुआसारीଙ୍କ कथा या बाहर लोक माने भी मेंशन से समय रे आपण देखिबे से समयर परिस्थिति कोन थिला हाउ मच वाज द पॉपुलेशन ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन केते थिला तो प्रोपोर्शनेटली एबे देखिबे हमर पॉपुलेशन इज लाइक वे 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 हायर ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ସମୟରେ ଯଦିଓ ମାନେ ଲୋକମାନେ ନିଜ ଘରେ ପାଳୁଥିଲେ କି ଯାହା ବି କରୁଥିଲେ ସେଟାର ଇଫେକ୍ଟଟା ବୋଧ
ନାଇଁ
ହୁଏ
ନାଇଁ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ସେତେବେଳେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ସେ ଲୋକଟି ପାଇଥିଲା ବୋଲି ପାଳୁଥିଲା ଇଟ୍
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ୱାଜ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ନେଭର ଏ
ସେଟା ବି
ବିଜନେସ୍
ଅଛି
ଇଟ୍ ୱାଜ ନେଭର ଏ ବିଜନେସ୍
ଆବସଲ୍ୟୁଟଲି ଆବସଲ୍ୟୁଟଲି
ଆଜିକା
ଆପଣ
ଡେଟ୍ରେ
ସେଇଟା ବି ଠିକ କହିଲେ।
ପ୍ୟାରାକିଟ୍ସ ବାହାରେ ଡୁ ୟୁ ନୋ ଦ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଏ ପ୍ୟାରାକିଟ୍ ଇନ୍
ମାନେ ଆପଣ କୁହନ୍ତୁନି ସେ ମୁଭି ବି ତିଆରି ହେଇଯାଇଛି ନା ଏ ଯୋଉ କଣ ରିଓ ଗୋଟେ ମୁଭି ଆସିନଥିଲା
ହଁ ରିଓ ତ ଥିଲା
ହଲିଉଡରେ
ହଁ ଆପଣ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଗୋଟେ ଆମର ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ସେଇଟା ତ ରିଓ ହେଲା ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ବର୍ଡ ଆମର ଏଇ ଆଲେକ୍ଜାଣ୍ଡିଆନ ପ୍ୟାରାକିଟ୍ର ଆପଣ ଟିକେ ଗୁଗଲ କରିବେ ୟୁଏଇ ରେ ତାର ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ କେତେ
ନା ମୁଁ ପାରାକିଟ୍ର ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟ ପାଇଁ କହୁନି ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ବର୍ଡ ପୋଚିଂ ଆଉ ଏସବୁ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ବି ଗୋଟେ ମେସେଜ ତା ଦେହରେ ଅଛି ରାଇଟ୍ କି କେମିତି ରିଓ ମୁଭିର ମୁଁ ସେମ୍ ପାରାକିଟ୍ ଏନିୱେ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କର ଏଇ କନଜର୍ଭେସନ୍ ଏଫର୍ଟ ପାଇଁ ଖାଲି ମୋର ସେକେଣ୍ଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଥିଲା କି ଆପଣ ଯଦି କିଛି ଆମର ଯୋଉ ହାଉସ୍ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ୟା ବ୍ୟାକ୍ୟାର୍ଡ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ୟା ଆମମାନଙ୍କର ହେରିଟେଜ୍ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଆମର ଫୋକ୍ ଷ୍ଟୋରିଜ୍ରେ ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ସବୁ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ଆନିମଲ୍ସ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ବିଷୟରେ ପଢ଼ୁଛେ ଜାଣୁଛେ ତା ବିଷୟରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ବନାନ୍ତେ କିଛି ଏଜୁକେସନାଲ ୟା ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ
Backyard birds, if you want any day, I have a readily available presentation. ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ ହିଁ backyard birds ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ବହୁତ ଥର ମୁଁ ସେ presentation ଦେଇଛି ବି
ଆଜ୍ଞା just ମୋ
website ରେ।
ପାଇଁ ନୁହେଁ I'm just saying somewhere central where if somebody let's say is in the future some youngsters are researching like they're seriously into academic research and all and they find such references folk ରୁ ହଉ କି ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କ stories ରୁ ହଉ they should have a reliable website to fall back on या reliable resource to fall back on
ଆଚ୍ଛା
English name ଓଡ଼ିଆ ନେମ୍ ମାନେ ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକ୍ ନେମ୍ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆଉ ପିକ୍ଚର ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଧରି ନିଅନ୍ତୁ ସେଇଭଳିଆ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ହେଲେ ସେଟା ତାଙ୍କର ଆହୁରି ଫର୍ଦର ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ମାନେ ଇଏରେ ସେଟା ଫୋକ୍ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ହଉ କି କ୍ଲାସିକାଲ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ହଉ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିବ କାହିଁକିନା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଆକ୍ସେସିବିଲିଟି ନାହିଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଫର୍ ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ପଲ ଆଜି ଆମେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଫର୍ଚୁନେଟଲି ଏଠି କଥା ହେଇପାରୁଛୁ ବଟ୍ ଜଣେ ଯଦି ଏଇ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ବି ଚାହିଁବ ମେ ବି ଦେ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ somebody to ask a question like this to, right? So ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା କହୁଛି ଯଦି ଆପଣମାନେ କେବେ ଭାବିବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆଉଲର ଯେଉଁ ଆପଣ ଯେମିତି ଏକାଡେମିକ୍ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଉପରେ ଫୋକସ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ସ୍ପେଶିଆଲି ଯେଉଁଟା ଏନସିଏଣ୍ଟ କଳିଙ୍ଗ ରିଜନ୍ ଥିଲା ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ଏଇ ଉପରେ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଆପଣ ବେସ୍ କରିକି ଆମର ଫୋକ୍ ଆଉ ଆମର ନିଜର ଯେଉଁ ମାନେ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଯେତେ ସବୁ ଆମର ପଶୁପକ୍ଷୀ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଯେଉଁଟା ମେନସନ୍ସ ଅଛି ସ୍ପେଶିଆଲି ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଜିନିଷରେ ଏବେ ସେଇଟା ରେୟାର ହେଇପାରନ୍ତି ବଟ୍ ସେମିତି ଜିନିଷର ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ କିଛି କରନ୍ତେ ଦେନ୍ ଏକାଡେମିକାଲି ବହୁତ ହେଲ୍ପ ହୁଅନ୍ତା ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ୱାର୍କ ନେଇକିନା।
नहीं करेक्ट वेरी वेरी गुड सजेशन इनफैक्ट आमर हेरिटेजेस रे भी बहुत बर्ड्स एंड आपनकर ये हैबिटेट रो सिंबल्स एंड ये अच्छी if that can
ଆଜ୍ଞା
be correlated also that be
ଆଜ୍ଞା
heat that can be done it is actually merging two fields different fields culture रे कौन अच्छी and ये रे कौन अच्छी
ମାନେ
वो
ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଏ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଟେକ୍ସଟ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଆପଣ ଯଦି କେବେ ଭାବିବେ ବି ଧରିନିଅନ୍ତୁ ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ ନିଡ୍ ଏନି ଲାଇକ୍ କୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ ରେଫରେନ୍ସେସ୍ ଅଛି ୟା କୋଉ ଜିନିଷକୁ କଲେକ୍ଟ କରିକି ଯେମିତି ଆପଣ ଜାଗା ଗୁଡ଼ାକର ଗୋଟେ ଆପଣ ଦେଇଥିଲେ ସଜେସନ୍ ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ ନିଡ୍ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ ଲାଇକ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ହିୟର୍ ଟୁ ହେଲ୍ପ ୟୁ ଲାଇକ୍ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଏଭର୍ ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ଆଇ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ସେୟାର ୱିଥ୍
I
ୟୁ।
will definitely take your help as far as maritime is concerned because I was very much interested in writing a book on. It's basically a coffee table book on, the path of Bali. From Bali to Bali Jatra. ମୁଁ କାହିଁକିନା ଇଣ୍ଡୋନେସିଆ ମୁଁ ଦୁଇଥର ଖଣ୍ଡେ ଭିଜିଟ୍ ବି କରିଛି ସ୍ପେଶାଲି ବାଲି।
ଆପଣ ଯଦି ପଢ଼ିଥିବେ ଅଧିକା ଜାଣିବେ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଜାଣିଥିବେ ଯେ ଆମ ସାଧବମାନେ ଆଣ୍ଡ ନଟ୍ ଓନ୍ଲି ସାଧବ ଭାରତର ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାରୁ ନୌବାଣିଜ୍ୟ ଥିଲା ମାନେ ସିନ୍ଧୁ ସରସ୍ୱତୀ ସିଭିଲାଇଜେସନ୍ ହଉ ୱେଷ୍ଟର୍ଣ୍ଣ କୋଷ୍ଟ ହଉ ଇଷ୍ଟର୍ଣ୍ଣ କୋଷ୍ଟ ତ ମେନଲି କଳିଙ୍ଗ କୋଷ୍ଟ ସବୁ ସାଧବ ନାବିକମାନେ ଦେ ୟୁଜ୍ ଦିଶା କାକ ଆପଣ ଇଣ୍ଡସ୍ ସିଲ୍ରେ ବି ଦିଶା କାକର ମାନେ ସ୍କଲ୍ପଚର୍ ଅଛି ଦିଶା କାକ ୱେର୍ ଦୋଜ୍ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ଯୋଉଟାକି ସେମାନେ ଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ଫାଇଣ୍ଡିଂ ବାଟ୍ ଛାଡ଼ୁଥିଲେ ସେମ୍ ଜିନିଷ ୱେର୍ ୟୁଜ୍ ବାଇ ପଲିନେସିଆନ୍ସ ଅଲସୋ ହ୍ୱେନ୍ ଦେ ୱେଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ଭେଞ୍ଚର ହୱାଇ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଗଲେ ପଲିନେସିଆନ୍ ମାନେ ବି ତାଙ୍କ ହିସାବରେ ମାଇଗ୍ରେଟରୀ ବର୍ଡ ମାନେ ନଟ୍ ମାଇଗ୍ରେଟରୀ ଦୋଜ୍ ଲ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡ ଫାଇଣ୍ଡିଂ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ୟୁଜ୍ କଲେ ଯୋଉ ଦିଶା କାକ କୋଉ ସ୍ପିସିସ୍କୁ ଦିଶା କାକ କରୁଥିବେ ୱି ଡୋଣ୍ଟ କାକ ଇଜ୍ ଅ କମନ୍ ୱାର୍ଡ ଫର୍ କାଉ ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛେ ବଟ୍ ମେ ବି କାକ ଇଜ୍ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଅ ବର୍ଡ।
ନାଇଁ କାକ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ୟାଲେଜିକ୍ ସ୍କୁଆଜ୍ ଗୁଡାକୁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ହଁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ପ୍ୟାଲେଜିକ୍ ସ୍କୁଆଜ୍ ଗୁଡାକୁ ମୋଷ୍ଟ ବୋଲି ବୋଧେ କାକ କହୁଥିବେ କାହିଁକିନା ସ୍କୁଆଜ୍ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍କୁଆ ବୋଲି ଗୋଟେ ବର୍ଡ ଅଛି ପ୍ୟାଲେଜିକ୍ ସେମାନେ ଖାଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସିଜ୍ରେ ରହିବେ ଦେଖାଯିବେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତ
ବଟ୍ ସେମାନେ ଏଇଠୁ
ତାଙ୍କୁ ବି
ନେଇକି
ଫଲୋ କରୁଥିବେ
ଯାଉଥିଲେ
ତାଙ୍କ ନାଭିଗେସନ ପାଇଁ ଫଲୋ କରୁଥିବେ।
ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେମାନେ ଏଇଠୁ ବୋଇତରେ ଏଇଠୁ ନେଇକି ଯାଉଥିଲେ and that was one of their ways of like ebero jemdi GPS it was like a GPS for them when they were lost like to find the
ट्रू
land।
वेरी ट्रू ଆପଣ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ମାଇଗ୍ରେସନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଯୋଉ ବର୍ଡସ୍ ଗୁଡାକ ତାଙ୍କର ବ୍ରେନ୍ କେତେ ଇଟ୍ସ ଭେରି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ସ୍ମଲ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକାଲି ଯଦି ଦେଖିବେ ବଟ୍ ଦେ नो द ओरिएंटेशन दे नो द डायरेक्शन हिमालय
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଉପରେ ଯଦି 12 ଗିଜ୍ ଫ୍ଲାଇ କରିକି ଆସିକି ଚିଲିକା ଯାଏ ସବୁ ବର୍ଷ ଆସିପାରୁଛି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତାପରେ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଇମାଜିନ୍ ଦ କାଇଣ୍ଡ ଅଫ୍ ମ୍ୟାପିଂ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଦେ ହାଭ୍ ଇନ୍ देयर ब्रेन।
ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ତ ଏଇଭଳିଆ ଆପଣ ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଭଳିଆ କନଭରସେସନ୍ସ ଇଣ୍ଟରଡିସିପ୍ଲିନାରୀ ମଲ୍ଟିଡିସିପ୍ଲିନାରୀ ଯୋଉ ସମସ୍ତେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆସୋସିଏଟେଡ୍ ହେଲେ then we can connect the dots what used to really happen.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm here if you need anything related to those resources please feel free to contact me. I'll
Sure,
send
madam.
my
I will
email.
definitely bother you regarding this
Bother not my pleasure sir my honor.
maritime ପାଇଁ କାହିଁକି I have a lot of interest in maritime କାହିଁକିନା ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବାଲିରେ ଦେଖିଲି or the weaving system ଆପଣଙ୍କର sculpting system and ତାରକସି କାମ I was amazed.
ଆଜ୍ଞା କେଣ୍ଡେରୀ ଆଉ ତାରକସି ପୁରା ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ଡିଟୋ ଆଉ ବାଲିରେ ଏବେ ବି କେଲିଂ ନାଁରେ ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଟେକ୍ସଟାଇଲ
Kelly
ଅଛି
print, yes,
କେଲିଂ।
yes, yes. ଆପଣଙ୍କର batik print ଯୋଉ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ
ବାଟିକ ତ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ କେଲିଂ ଇଜ ଅ ୱିଭିଂ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଆମର ଯେମିତି ବାନ୍ଧ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କର ସେ ନାଁଟା ବି କେଲିଂ ବେସିକାଲି।
I've taken some photographs ମୋର ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼ା ନେଇଛି ମୋର ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼ା ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ଥିଲା then I couldn't find a sponsor to take that assignment ଯେ ନେଇକି ମତେ ଓଡ଼ିଶା and ଇଏ ଦିଟା ଯାକ କନେକ୍ଟ କରେଇ ପାରିବ ବାଲି and ଓଡ଼ିଶା। Anyway someday I will do it.
ଆପଣ ସୁନୀଲ
I
ସରଙ୍କ
will take your
ସାଙ୍ଗରେ
help.
କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ वी हैव लाइक सर सुनील सर इज connected with a lot of people in Malaysia and other places who can actually like Odias जो माने Malaysia को 150 years ago माने migrate they're like Odia Malaysians, so you can like have more about Indonesia.
Definitely. And since I am, it's a privilege for me to be around here. So at least अपन मना साथ देखा ला बल लगला. And it's really nice to interact actually. बहुत जगह रे कौन है workshop सारे सब everything goes up. And we don't interact this kind of very interesting and intellectual interaction.
Thank you very much, sir. Ebe, thank you for answering all our questions. Ebe mu Sanjay sir ko I'll hand over the rest of the time. बहुत धन्यवाद again. Thank you.
All my pleasure. All my pleasure.
ପ୍ରତିଭା ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। ଯାହା ହଉ more than 2 hours ହେଇଗଲାଣି ଆପଣ ଆମ ସହିତ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ମୁଁ ଆଗରୁ କଲେଜରେ ପଢିଲା ବେଳେ ସାଙ୍କେଲ ମାଗାଜିନ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରଥମ ଦେଖୁଥିଲୁ, ସେ ବେଦୀ ବ୍ରଦର୍ସଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖୁଥିଲୁ, ଯୋଉ ନରେଶ ବେଦୀ, ରାଜେଶ ବେଦୀ ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ଦେଖୁଥିଲୁ। ଯାହା ପ୍ରଥମ କରି ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ଜଣେ ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ ଫଟୋଗ୍ରାଫରଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ଆଜି ଭେଟିଲୁ, ତେଣୁ ବହୁତ ଖୁସି। ଆଉ ଆପଣ ମୋର ଗୋଟେ ଥିଲା, ମୁଁ କୋଣାର୍କରୁ କହୁଛି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଆମର ଏଠି ଅସ୍ତରଙ୍ଗରେ ଗୋଟେ ସହନ ବୋଲି ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗା ଅଛି, ଆପଣ ଆସିଥିବେ। ସେଠି ବି ବହୁତ ପ୍ରକାର ବଡ ସେ ମାଇଗ୍ରେଟରୀ ବାର୍ଡ ବି ବହୁତ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି, ବଡ ବଡ।
ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଅସ୍ତରଙ୍ଗରୁ ସହନରୁ ନେଇକି ଅପ୍ ଟୁ ଇଏରୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଜାହାଣିଆରୁ ଯାଇକି ମୁଁ ଦେବୀ ମାଉଥ ଯାଏ ବୋଟରେ ଯାଇଛି। ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସେଠି କଲର୍ଡ କିଙ୍ଗଫିଶର ଆଉ ବ୍ଲାକ୍ କ୍ୟାପ୍ କିଙ୍ଗଫିଶର ଇଜ ଅଲସୋ ଆଭେଲେବଲ ଇନ୍ ଅସ୍ତରଙ୍ଗ।
ସେଟା ବି ସେମିତି ମଙ୍ଗଳାଗିରି ପରି ବି ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ କରାଯାଇପାରେ ଭବିଷ୍ୟତରେ।
ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ସାର୍ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ମୁଁ କହିଲି ନା ବହୁତ କ୍ୟାପାସିଟି ଅଛି ଓଡ଼ିଶାର, ବହୁତ ପୋଟେନସିଆଲ୍ସ ଅଛି, ବଟ୍ ସବୁ ଜାଗାକୁ ଯେମିତି ପ୍ରୀତି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ କହିଲେ ସବୁ ଜାଗାକୁ ତ ଓପନ୍ କରିଦେଇ ହବ। ଅସ୍ତରଙ୍ଗର ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ମଷ୍ଟ ବି ହାଭିଂ 1000 ଫଟୋଗ୍ରାଫ୍ସ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସବୁ ଜାଗା ମୁଁ ଆଜ୍ ଆଇ ସେଡ୍ ମୁଁ ସୋସିଆଲ ମିଡ଼ିଆରେ ଏବେ ପ୍ରମୋଟ ହିଁ କରୁନି unless and until I find that it is safe for people to go and ମାନେ for the habitat, in fact not people को safety ପାଇଁ ନୁହେଁ, habitat ର safety ପାଇଁ ଆगे ଦେଖିକି ତାପରେ ପ୍ରମୋଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। Anyway, it was really nice. Anything else, sir? ଆପଣ କୋଣାର୍କ ସାର୍ କୋଉଠି ଅସ୍ତରଙ୍ଗରେ ରହୁଛନ୍ତି? ଆରେ
ସଞ୍ଜୟ ଶୁଣିପାରୁନ କି? ସଞ୍ଜୟ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି କୋଣାର୍କରେ ତାଙ୍କର, ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଯିବେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରୁ କୋଣାର୍କରୁ 3-4 କିଲୋମିଟର ପୂର୍ବରୁ ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ରିସର୍ଟ ଅଛି, ଗୋଟେ ପେଟ୍ରୋଲ ପମ୍ପ ଅଛି, ରିସର୍ଟ ଅଛି। ସଞ୍ଜୟ ଗୋଟେ ପବ୍ଲିଶ୍ଡ ଅଥର, କୋଣାର୍କ ବିଷୟରେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ବହୁ ଚର୍ଚ୍ଚିତ ବହି ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି। ସଞ୍ଜୟ ଶୁଣିପାରୁନ କି?
Frozen ହେଇଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ଆଜ୍ଞା, ତାଙ୍କର ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ।
ସଞ୍ଜୟ ଗଲା, ସଞ୍ଜୟ ତାର କିଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହେଲା। ଧ୍ୟାନଚାନ୍ଦର ମଝିରେ କଣ କହୁଥିଲୁ ଗୋଟେ? ହଁ ଧ୍ୟାନଚାନ୍ଦ କହ।
ନାଇଁ ସେଇ ସଞ୍ଜୟ ତା ଆଜିରେ ଟିକେ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ତ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହେଇଥିବ।
ହଁ ସଞ୍ଜୟ
ତାର ନେଟୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଅଛି।
ସଞ୍ଜୟର ବ୍ୟାଟେରୀ ମାନେ ପାୱାର ଫେଲ୍ ହେଇଗଲା। ହଉ ଆମେ ତମକୁ ଡାକୁଛୁ। ଠିକ ଅଛି ହଉ ତାର ପାୱାର ଫେଲ୍ ହେଇଗଲା। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକ୍ରମଟା ସାରିବା। ମୁଁ ଆଶା କରୁଛି ଯେ ନନ୍ଦବାବୁଙ୍କୁ ଆଜିର ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଟକ୍ ଟା କଣ କେମିତି ଲାଗିଲା ଆପଣ
Sir, you tell us. ଆପଣମାନେ ମତେ କହିବେ କଣ ଲାଗିଲା।
We are so happy. We rarely come across people who can give so engrossing talk, and we really all of us enjoyed your talk.
Sir, ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଇମେଲ ଟା ସେୟାର କରିବେ ପ୍ଲିଜ, ମୁଁ ଲେଖି ଦିଏ ରଥାନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ।
Just if I can share my screen, ମୁଁ ତ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ actually I thought of showing work. Wait a second.
ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟେସନ ରେ ଆହୁରି ବାକି ଥିଲା, ଆମେ ଦେଖି ପାରିନି।
These are all my work. It's not that you can see it otherwise. ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ लास्ट पेज रे थिबो
My goodness, it's a beautiful ଜିନିଷ।
We need another session, another Sunday.
Sunday we will do it, sir. Hmm.
Have you taken any photographs in Konark Puri Way? Deer, peacock? Because
Got a second, got a second.
Hmm.
This photograph was near ये आपनकर जो
Ramchandi.
रामचंडी बेलेश्वर सर
Okay.
बेलेश्वर
Because Vedanta company withdrew his MOU
हाँ.
because of this wildlife and political turmoil.
बहुत गुड़े सर कोणार्क से ये रे बहुत गुड़े मोर शॉट्स अच्छी जो इको टूरिज्म होची इको टूरिज्म फोरम ऊपर ठिया है कि भी आई हैव शॉट दैट मो सेठी भी ओडिशा टूरिज्म वाला डाकथले एंड ये वाला डाकथले सेठी ठिया कहली मु एई जगह रे शॉट नै छि इटी कंकड़ा तले इटी काई करछ बोली ए क्वेश्चन
लास्ट इयर मु पुरी जाइଥିଲି 3 दिन जाइछि गोटे पर्टिकुलर जगह रे मो झियो को देखेबाकू हिरण आ मयूर सेही रास्ता एबी भी जाउछि मे मास रे 2 दिन
आपण हरिण पाइले कोन पूरी रास्ता रे
हां गोटे पाइले मु से गोटे छोटिया गांट अछि बहुत झाड़ू ये झाऊ गछ वरा के भितरु 3टा हरिण देखली मु से चोरावाली एरिया पखा पखी रामचंद्र पाखा
this